3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Took Saturday off. Came back and practiced 2 days. We're out there Sunday and today. And now they'll take another day off and come back, I believe, with 4 straight practices before their next off day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they'll come back in 3 more practices, and then they'll be off again on Saturday. It seems to be kind of going in a 3-1 kind of situation, but obviously this last set of days, they only practice twice before the guys will have another off day coming up tomorrow. I had a chance again to get out there today. A lot more shuffling going on with the offensive line. I mean, that was kind of the storyline last week when we started this whole thing. We showed up on day one, and the left side of the offensive line looked completely different than what we thought it was going to look like. And now we've got some other things happening. On the right side of the line, we're not sure. We have not had a chance to talk with Coach Brent Brennan since day one, but Leif Magnuson has not practiced the last 3 days. He's been out there, at least the last 2. I did not see him on Friday, but I was told he was there. He was there on Sunday and Monday. He just was not dressed. He did not appear to be hurt or anything of that nature. I mean, most of the guys, that are hurt are generally dressed out and working on the side or something of that nature. He was at practice. He was just kind of standing there on the side with his offensive line mates. So not sure exactly what's happening there with Leif Magnuson. But again, now that's another guy who was a projected starter on this offensive line who has now been out for 3 practices. So now are you not only down Raymond Polito, Wendell Moyes still has not returned to full go, but now you may be without Leif Magnuson for who knows how long. So that's 3 guys on your offensive end. We're starting to see a lot of different faces out there on this offensive line for the Arizona Wildcats. I mentioned Ryan Stewart last week, working on the left side of the line in a guard position. We've seen him now working in the right side in place of Leif Magnuson. We've also seen Shenko has been working. Issei, as we have known that he is called. Issei, he transferred from New Mexico, who made a short pit stop at Arizona State. He was working not only at right guard, but also working as the number 2 center today. So a lot of different moving parts with this offensive line right now as we have completed now the first week of training camp, 5 practices, with the first practice having been last Wednesday. So again, you never know with football. You never know exactly how things are going to shake out. You may think you've got everybody back necessary to make this thing roll, and all of a sudden now you don't necessarily have what you thought was going to be your starting unit, top to bottom. So we're going to have to see how that shakes out. Next man up, it's football. That's kind of how this whole thing works. And so other guys are getting opportunities. While Tetro McMillan is out, there are other wide receivers getting opportunities. This is a chance for A.J. Jones, who's kind of been one of those wide receivers who's been on the cusp the last few years but hasn't been able to break through. This is his opportunity to step up and see if he can be that guy. At times he looks the part, at times he doesn't. He dropped a couple of balls today in practice, but then he came back near the end of practice and caught a long touchdown from Noah Fifita. From Cole Tannenbaum. So there's times he looks the part again to be that guy that can step into what they call the X wide receiver, but then there's times then he doesn't. You can't put the ball on the ground, period. If you're running back, if you're a wide receiver, if you're running back, you can't fumble it. If you're a wide receiver, you can't drop it. Drop passes are not going to get you on the field come Saturday. You've got to be able to contain the football. Interceptions aren't going to get you there. We haven't seen a lot of those, fortunately, from Noah Fifita, although, again, it continues to be difficult. I'll phrase it as that. It's been difficult for the offense to find plays against the number one defense, the number one offense against the number one defense, because that's primarily how they've been working this thing through the first 5 days of camp. The plays have not been easy to come by for this number one offense. Now, you heard Dino Babers last week say that, we're putting in a lot of things. We're putting in new plays every day. And that's one of the reasons maybe the defense has looked like they're a little bit ahead of the offense so far in this thing. So we'll kind of continue to watch that as well as we go on beginning week 2 of fall camp on Wednesday. Quali Connolly got a few more reps as the number one guy at running back. That's a race we continue to watch between Quali Connolly and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Kedrick Riscano, and Rayshon Speedy Luke, all in that mix. Who's going to be that one guy? Who's going to be that two guy? We're continuing to watch that. Today, Quali Connolly got the majority of the work with the ones, and then Ja'Cory after that, and the rest falling in behind those two. So fall camp is off and running. We'll take your calls on that today. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Again, no practice tomorrow. The guys will be back on the field Wednesday. I believe Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, is a night practice at Arizona Stadium. So a chance to get out Thursday night and see the fellas at Arizona Stadium if you'd like. And the crowds haven't been big, but there have been people out there with their eyes on this Arizona football team through the first 5 days of fall camp. The Olympics continues. We are now into the final week. Track has begun. We've seen some amazing performances on the track. How about yesterday's men's 100 meters? I mean, that was just absolutely unbelievable. In fact, we have that, J-Dub. Let's give the folks that men's 100 yesterday, about as close to 100 from 1 to 8 as I think I've seen in a long, long time.
It's the Olympic final of the men's 100 meters. There are 3 Americans in it: Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarek, and Fred Curley. 6 of the 9 have Olympic experience, but maybe the favorite, Thompson of Jamaica, does not. It's his first Olympic Games. And Noah's quest to win the double, the 100-200, begins in earnest now.
Set.
There's an Olympic gold medal waiting for somebody who wants it the most. Now Thompson starts to wind up. Curley's going with him. This is close. Jamaica's going to do it. Kashane Thompson is a gold medalist on debut.
We thought it was going to take 9.7 to win. Guess what he just ran? 9.78. But it was a lean at the tape by Thompson. Visually, we think he got it. They're working on the photo.
Fred Curley pushed him all the way. Noah Lyles is looking anxiously. It's Noah Lyles! And it had to go to a photo finish to decide it.
America! I told you!
Fred Curley wins the bronze.
This looked a lot like the World Championship last year. Noah Lyles didn't win his heat. He didn't win his semifinal, but he won the one that counted. Noah Lyles is the Olympic champion, and the United States have won gold for the first time in 20 years. Wow. Let's look again at how close this was on the line. It's the torso that gets you the win. And right there, you can see a little bit of daylight between Shane Thompson of Jamaica's torso and the line, Noah just outleaned him. So they both are credited with 9.79, but there's 5 thousandths in between them, and that's the difference between gold and silver tonight.
I mean, I looked at that photo. I couldn't tell who won. Could you tell who won, J-Dub?
I mean, the one that was black, the actual photo they used to determine no, but the actual color one was a little bit clearer. I love that Noah Lyles didn't win the race in the original call. They actually, they definitively said that he did not win.
Right.
That's how close it was, DK. First time that all 8 competitors ran sub 10.
Yeah.
Never happened before.
That
also,
was just crazy.
It's crazy to me, first gold for America in 20 years. I mean,
Justin Gatlin.
We grew up in that era of, the Americans dominating these shorter sprint races, but obviously Jamaicans have had a foothold on that recently.
Yeah, there was a guy named Usain Bolt.
He's pretty good. He's a pretty good guy.
Who kind of dominated that for several Olympic cycles, taking the United States out of the picture
so Noah
in this century.
Is now the world champion, right?
He is the world champion. He is the fastest man in the world.
I don't know why.
Not by 5. What would they say? 5/100, 5/1000, 500th 1000th of a second.
I don't know why he created that beef. He was the one who came out a year ago about how the NBA champion's not the world champion. He was the one who went into great lengths to just try to knock any American team sport calling themselves the world champion or whatever. And so, he told America he's the world champion.
He is. He's, like he said, America, I told you, I got this. Well, he got it for sure. So congratulations to Noah Lyles. He is an Olympic champion, and now he'll try to make it the famed double, winning the 100 and the 200, trying to win the 200 gold medal now. Will Noah Lyles.
I looked it up, DK, and 190 athletes in the history have run sub 10. So 190 athletes in the history of this race at any level have ever run a sub 10, and 8 of them did it in that final.
That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive when you have 8 guys who easily could have won that race. That's what you want to see, though.
That's probably, you mentioned, that's probably the best photo finish. Because generally, photo finish, you're looking to see maybe one horse by a nose over the other. It's not like all 12, right? That photo, DK, all 8 of those athletes are in that picture. It's just such a great picture.
The gymnastics came to an end today. It did not necessarily end with gold for Simone Biles on the balance beam. Both her and Suni Lee fell and fell off the podium. In that respect, Biles, though, did get a silver on the floor exercise. Lee, I believe, also got a silver on the floor. I'm sorry, Jordan Childs got the bronze on the floor. So the United States went 2-3 in the floor exercise behind Brazil's Rebecca Andrade.
Significant about that?
What's that?
First time 3 black athletes, DK,
have been at the top of the podium.
In the podium, yeah.
Wow.
First time ever.
Unbelievable there. History for sure. Chase Budinger and Miles Evans knocked out of the men's beach volleyball tournament by the defending gold medalists from Norway. They were swept in their quarterfinal match today, 2-0. So congratulations, though, to Chase Budinger for getting to the Olympics. Also, Delaney Vaughn from the United States, from right here in southern Arizona, Tucson, Mountain View High School grad, did not make the final. She finished 11th in the semifinals for BMX racing on the women's side, so she did not qualify for the final. But also congratulations to Delaney for a tremendous run to get to Paris. How about the golf yesterday? I mean, holy smokes, Scotty Scheffler doing Scotty Scheffler things, coming back with, what did he? I think he had 9 birdies total in his round yesterday. He had 3 birdies on the front 9, 6 on the back 9, including 4 in a row to come from 6 shots back to win. I mean, Scotty Scheffler is just unbelievable right now. I mean, just another feather in his cap to win the Olympic gold medal in golf. Novak Djokovic in tennis, taking out Carlos Alcazar. I mean, 2 of the greatest in that sport, getting to the Olympic final and putting on a show there. Great job great for Joker. He's coming to the end of his career. He also puts another feather in his cap. So a lot of great things to talk about this weekend. We'll get into all of that. We'll get into your Diamondbacks. They've got first pitch coming up here in about 24 minutes. So we'll talk about them next as they faced off Sunday against none other than Paul Skeens. The diaper dandy, the bonus baby, whatever you want to call him. We'll let you know how that went down and much more as we get you set for D-backs and Tribe coming up from Cleveland with first pitch at 3:40. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden's here. Cricket will be along as well. She gets you home night now every 20 minutes on your fives with traffic and weather.
Traffic Center, it is your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Country Club and Glen, road work there continuing both directions of traffic on Glen. Approaching Country Club down to one lane. No left turns permitted from Country Club onto Glen. And also collision on Glen to the west of Campbell at Glen and Cherry. And weather-wise, there is a small chance of showers today. Almost a 50% chance of rain tomorrow and 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Tune in each weekday from noon to 3 p.m. for The Rich Eisen Show, right here on Tucson's home of Arizona Wildcats football.
Touchdown, Arizona!
And the National Football League. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
This year, Dell Technologies' Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Wait. Skechers put the S in comfort?
Yes, comfort you have to feel to believe. Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Let me try. Okay, I'm just stepping.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's...
I'm Captain Tobacco from Tobacco Barn.
My tobacco hero.
I'm here to wipe out high prices on tobacco products. I'm also here to inform citizens that you could save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products. Pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Uh-oh, I see high prices. Excuse me.
Save up to 40% off all your tobacco products at Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn is on the Indian Reservation, so you're not paying state tax or any city sales tax. Plus, you can get a coupon for an additional $3 off at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Take it from Captain Tobacco. Save up to 40%. Save with no city or state sales tax. And save with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Well, time for me to fly.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really free. That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really.
You just need to know if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
with
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any money.
What?
I just said with Alaskan
With Alaskan
AC.
AC service guarantee will arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember.
It's a toe tapper.
Really.
Really from AlaskanAC.com.
Arizona's oldest brewery, Barrio Brewing Company, has been brewing for Arizona for 33 years and offers legendary locally brewed beer, along with great food, all in a wonderful and distinctive industrial atmosphere. Barrio is family friendly, which includes a dog-friendly patio. They're located just outside of downtown Tucson at 800 East 16th Street. Enjoy popular local brewed beers like Barrio Blonde, Hipster Hazy IPA, and Barrio Rojo, along with seasonal favorites Peach Ale and Senor Sour. Try the Carney Fries on Barrio's new happy hour menu, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Food and beer available for dine-in or to-go. Event space rental is also available. Check out their entire beer and food menu, along with a great selection of cool merchandise online at barriobrewing.com. The friendly employee owners of Barrio Brewing Company look forward to seeing you soon.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Barrio Brewing Company. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Android users, you can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Well, that was an insane weekend in Paris. That was seriously top shelf Olympic entertainment. What an enormous weekend for the games. A huge weekend for America and a huge weekend for Noah freaking Lyles, a.k.a. the fastest man alive. What a way for an American to reclaim that title, because Noah is electric. His smack is electric. The race was electric, especially when you consider how poorly he started. 50 meters in, he was still in 7th place, with 6 of the fastest people in the world ahead of him. And yet he makes up all that real estate against some of the best in the world in a photo finish, which is absolutely mind-blowing. Hate this guy all you want, but tip your hat, because the 100 is not his best event, and the 200 is still coming.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on this program today. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Got some of the Olympics on right now. Looks like we've got the, is that the kayak slalom? I think that's happening right now. That does not look very easy.
It's a team event, too.
Yeah,
it's crazy because they got to wait for their partner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep, that's hard. That's looking kind of hard.
A lot of congestion.
Right there.
It's like hard enough to turn back against the stream, DK, and have to pedal around one of those markers, because that's the really difficult part about this. When you get to one of those eddies, you got to go around the marker and make basically a loop. But it's tougher when there's another person trying to do the same thing with you in that tight space. Yeah, crowded.
All right, the Diamondbacks continue on their 6-game road trip with a 3-game series in Cleveland. Let's recap what happened over the weekend in Pittsburgh.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
All right, well, the Diamondbacks arrive in my hometown, a playoff team in the National League, as they continue to just play extremely good baseball. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They took 2 out of 3 this weekend from the Pittsburgh Pirates, winning on Friday and winning on Sunday. They hold the 3rd wild card spot right now in the National League, and they do so, get this, by a full game and a half right now over the New York Mets, who lost 2 of 3 over the weekend in their series against the woeful Los Angeles Angels. You got to beat the Angels if you want to get to the postseason. Yesterday, finally, we didn't think that the Diamondbacks playing the Pirates for the 6th time in 9 games were going to get a chance to see Paul Skeens at the beginning of this series, but the Pirates rotation obliged the matter. Good for us to get a chance to see Paul Skeens, who came in a all-star starter and had gone 6 or more innings in his last 8 starts. Could he do it again? Well, things got off to a very good start for the Snakes.
Must-watch TV here with Paul on the mound. 13 starts, 6-1 record. ERA 190, opponent average 198, and 103 punch-outs, just 16 walks and 80 2/3 innings.
20 games in a row on base for Carroll.
And the pitch weakly grounded to short. Tough play, O'Neal Cruz. Tried to get it on a backhand, but saw the speed of Carroll, and he'll just pocket that one.
2 hits for Corbin Carroll. He's still, though, only hitting .215 this season, despite going 2 for 4 with a walk, but a good day at the plate for Corbin Carroll. That is definitely needed for this team. Now, the Pirates would take the early lead in this contest, giving Paul Skeens 4 runs early, and it would start in the bottom of the 2nd inning after they were already up 1-0 in the contest. How about former Tucson Padre? Well, let's first hear from how they got the lead in the bottom of the 1st inning to take the lead early.
Looking for his first hit as a Pirate here at PNC Park.
There's a base hit. Here comes Kiner Falefa. And the new guy's getting it done in the 1st inning.
First hit at home in his new home for Brian De La Cruz, bringing home Kiner Falefa. 1-0 Bucks.
All right, so Brian De La Cruz getting things off to a positive start for the Pirates. Then it was the former Tucson Padre, Yasmani Grandal, in the 2nd inning.
Pirates leading 1-0. Fly ball right field toward the line, and that's going to get down and short hop the wall. Bart scores on his tail bay. He is held up. Yaz doubles home. Bart, 2-0 Pirates in the 2nd. In the air to right. Going back is Corbin Carroll toward the wall, and it is off the wall and right. IKF into 2nd. He's headed to 3rd. He's going to be there with a triple. Kiner in Pittsburgh off the Clemente wall and right. And the Pirates have taken a 4-0 lead.
IKF is Isaiah Kiner Falefa. We were talking the other day, Yasmani Grandal, I believe he is one of 3 remaining Tucson Padres who is still in the big leagues playing the game. Miles Mikolas is one of those guys, and who's the guy for the Cubs? Rizzo, Anthony Rizzo, who now is a Yankee, obviously, but with the Padres and then the Cubs, is another one of those guys. So I think they are the only 3 left from the Tucson Padres days here back in 2010, 11, and 12 who are still playing big league baseball. So an early 4-0 lead for the Pirates. Ryan Nelson, who I picked up for my fantasy team, was on the bump trying to settle this thing down.
Kevin Newman, now a Diamondback, had to step aside in Pittsburgh. 6 strikeouts for Ryan Nelson. And there's 1 out in the 5th. Just blowing guys away. Yep. 96. He has struck out 3 of the last 4 and 7 in the ballgame. On your scorecards, you got Paul Skeens with 4 strikeouts and Ryan Nelson with 7.
Not the greatest outing for Ryan Nelson. He allowed 4 earned runs on 5 hits, walked a pair, did have the 7 strikeouts, but again left with the deficit, which the Diamondbacks couldn't get much going early against Paul Skeens. I mean, Skeens would shut him out for the first 5 innings, but they would start to get to him in the 6th and, in fact, knock him out of the game in that inning.
Skeens has not been as sharp as we've seen him. What a high bar
has been set for Paul Skeens.
I mean, yeah, he's just not going to give up much.
Corbin Carroll, fly ball. It backs up De La Cruz in right. Still backing up to the wall. And it's off the wall. He just missed it. It's going to be another triple for Corbin Carroll. And that's how we get things started. A stand-up triple opens up the sixth. He just missed a home run.
And a chance now for Ketel Marte, who's 0 for 2. And Ketel gets the run home. Connor Falefa's got it. Diamondbacks on the board. It's 4-1. Brings up Jock Peterson. Jock hits it up the middle by O'Neill Cruz and into center. And the third time through may be the charm here for this Diamondback lineup.
Skeens pitch. Walked him on 4 pitches, putting runners at first and second.
And so, yeah, he's not going to get a chance to pitch out of his own jam.
So Skeens, a roar of approval. He'll leave with the lead up to the Pirates' pen to secure this important game against the Diamondbacks.
5 1/3 innings for Paul Skeens. He walked 3. You heard the announcer say not as sharp, allowed 5 hits. Did strike out 4 through 100 pitches, left with the lead. But it was not going to stay that way, as his bullpen was not going to do much for him. Ketel Marte has been doing it all at the offensive end for this Diamondbacks club. And yesterday, not only did he help with his offense, but he also helped with his defense.
Triolo is out number 2, brings up Grandal.
Marte, what a play! Ketel Marte saves a run right there.
And the inning comes to an end. Spectacular defense from Ketel Marte. The Pirates don't score.
3-2 headed to the 7th inning. D-backs would get a couple of runners on. Jock Peterson would step to the plate.
Diamondback stranded 2 in the 6th. You don't want to do that again here in this 7th.
Jock sends it pretty deep left field. Backing up the other way is Reynolds, and it's gone. Jock Peterson has done it again, and the Diamondbacks have stolen a lead. It's 5-4.
Very nice job by Jock Peterson shooting it out to left center field.
2 in the 6th, 3 home in the 7th. A 2-out, 3-run homer has made it 5-4 Diamondbacks.
17th home run for Jock Peterson. I mean, I'm looking at these pictures of Jock Peterson all over the internet after he hit that home run yesterday, and I'm like, who is that big kid? I mean, that Jock Peterson is a big dude. He is a big dude for sure, and he's hitting .282 on the season with those 17 home runs. So no chance now for Paul Skeens to get a win with his team down 5-4. And the Diamondbacks would tack on an insurance run in the 9th, courtesy of Ketel Marte.
Marte up right here. He's had a lot of magic in the 9th inning, a lot of 9th inning home runs. Another one right here would be clutch.
Marte slams it deep to right center. Bay going back, and it's gone. Another 9th inning home run for Ketel Marte. And there's a pad run, his 27th of the year.
And a massive insurance run on the solo homer. D-backs 6 and the Pirates 4.
27th home run of the year for Ketel Marte, and the Snakes needed that run because they've had trouble closing out games. Ryan Thompson would get the first opportunity. Paul Sewald is no longer the closer for the Diamondbacks. He has been relegated now. He came in the 6th inning yesterday after Ryan Nelson went 5 and actually pitched a pretty good 6th inning, allowed a hit and struck out one, would get the win because he was the pitcher of record when the Diamondbacks took the lead on the Jock Peterson home run. Thompson, though, trying to close the door, could not close the door.
3 outs away from a series win in Pittsburgh, and it's up to the right-hander Ryan Thompson. And Ryan has picked up saves in each of his last 2 outings.
A leadoff walk to McCutchen. There is Yasmani Grandal.
Ground ball off the glove of the first baseman Newman into shallow right. McCutchen will hold it second. First and second, nobody out, and here comes Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
Kiner Falefa pops up the bunt. What a break for the Diamondbacks right there as Thompson runs it down.
And now it's Brian Reynolds with first and second and 1 out.
Game on the line in the 9th inning. Base hit for Reynolds. McCutchen will try to score. He's in. Tying run is at third here in the 9th. Brian Reynolds comes through.
Thompson faced
4 batters in the 9th, 3 have reached, and they'll go to the bullpen.
And you did hear correctly, Kevin Newman playing first base for that. Started at first base started at not last night, but has started at first base at times this season for the Diamondbacks. Came in the 9th inning, did not secure that hot shot that allowed that inning to get going. Torey Lovullo has not been slow with his hook lately. He hooked out Paul Sewald the other night when he walked 3. He did the same to Ryan Thompson in the 9th inning, holding a 1-run lead. He would hand it to A.J. Puck, hoping A.J. Puck could finish out a series win.
Ball game on the line in Pittsburgh, and here is the left-hander A.J. Puck. He will face a left-hand batting O'Neill Cruz, who is 0 for 4. Another 3-2 pitch on the way to O'Neill Cruz. How about that? They went to the 4-seamer, down and away, and got the strikeout. So here we go. Tying runs at third, winning runs down there at first. Brian De La Cruz, who had an RBI single in the first. Right field, Corbin Carroll got it, and the Diamondbacks survive in Pittsburgh 6-5. Wow, what a finish!
6-5 the final. Let's hear from Torey after the ball game.
It was a big emotional investment. Our guys fought as hard as they could, and I am really proud of this group. I think that the world felt like their starting pitcher was going to have a really good day and walk all over us, but there were 26 men in that clubhouse that made a stand and said that we were going to have a different outcome than the world thought. He's got great stuff. We got a really good look at it today, and we just thought that if we can grind him down a little bit, 15 plus pitches per inning, just find a way to get him out of the game, and it happened in the 6th inning. And I think he got a little fatigued maybe missed a couple spots, and left with a little bit of traffic, and it worked out really, really well. We knew they were a little short in the bullpen too because of the usage over the past couple of days. I mean, it was one thing after another. It was great to see Paul get back out there back-to-back days and work very effectively. Then J. Mart, Floro, and then the 9th inning was pieced together. As good as we hope. AJ made some unbelievable pitches on O'Neill Cruz, which was a big second out, and it was very taxing. It was very emotional, but everybody did their job. They had a potential matchup, and they chose to challenge Jock, and I think he took that personal. He's such a professional hitter. He can toggle his approach. You just don't know what he's thinking. He sits on pitches. He's a brilliant mind up there at home plate.
All right, so it is the Diamondbacks and the Cleveland Guardians tonight in Cleveland. This game is just about to get underway. Tonight, it'll be Zach Gallen on the bump for the Snakes. Zach Gallen with a record of 9-5 on the season, a 3.56 ERA. And Logan Allen comes up from AAA to make the start for Cleveland. He is 8-4, however, in the big leagues with a 5.67 earned run average. Looking forward to watching two of the best in baseball at the plate in Ketel Marte, who enters with 27 homers and 77 RBIs, and Jose Ramirez for Cleveland, who enters with 29 home runs and 93 RBIs. The Diamondbacks with Zach Gallen on the hill are the moneyline favorite tonight at -125 on your Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook board. The over-under at -120 is 8.5 in this one tonight. Again, first pitch straight ahead at 3:40. We'll keep you up to date on what's happening tonight in Cleveland. I'm at work, so I can watch the game. If I was at home, I couldn't watch the game because, we've been down that road a number of times. Diamondbacks still do not have a deal with Xfinity to carry their games. So if you live on the north side, you cannot watch Diamondbacks baseball unless, of course, you unhook your cable and plug in an antenna.
Real quick to wrap this up, I know we're over, but Skeens with 107 strikeouts, 19 walks this year. He's getting pulled into the 6. His total innings pitched are really low, DK.
Yeah.
But I just did the math. That's 5.63 strikeout to walk ratio.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest strikeout to walk ratio for starting pitchers in history is 5.3.
Wow.
So he is, and again, he's just getting started.
Yeah.
That's probably maybe not continue with that, but right now his control, the number of guys he's striking out relative to the number of guys he's putting on base, it's just outrageous for a guy that age.
Good stuff. Good stuff indeed from Paul Skeens. He was in control. He didn't have his best. The thing I guess you love about it was he did not have his best yesterday, and he still was able to shut the Diamondbacks out for 5 innings and leave with a 5-2
If you heard me,
lead.
he had 19 walks for the season. 3 of those came yesterday. DK.
Yeah.
3.
Exactly.
So.
All right, cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions at a reported river in Craycroft was a hit and run. Valencia west of I-19, eastbound slowing, eastbound on Valencia approaching I-19. Glen west of Campbell clearing, and also collision Ajo west of I-19. There's a 15% chance of showers today, nearly a 50% chance of rain tomorrow, 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Play social games online for free. Head to ChumbaCasino.com now to join the Chumba fun and experience the thrill of the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners. But you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com.
Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The American cowboy is everything that makes this country great.
There's a freedom to being a cowboy.
Being a cowgirl is not a safe, easy path, but it's one that's very rewarding.
The American cowgirl is dedicated to her livestock, she's dedicated to her country, and she's dedicated to her family.
The American cowboy is honest.
We're the backbone of how this country was founded.
There's a whole lot of legacy that goes along with being a cowboy, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Boot Barn, keep west.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The more time that passes, the more important it is to remind our nation about the heartbreak and heroism of September 11th, 2001. Join your neighbors this September 11th at the Tucson Convention Center to climb the same number of steps as the World Trade Center towers, or as many as you can, to memorialize the brave first responders who ran toward danger that day. All proceeds benefit local first responders and military charities. General donations are also accepted. Register today at 9/11towerchallengefoundation.org.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Cricket, did you know that you had a World Cup?
A straight.
We're going to have a super over.
Is that like soccer?
I don't understand any of it. I don't understand the terminology. I don't understand. Left-armed seamer, can you believe it or not? He caught a slip.
You don't want to catch a slip.
I don't know what any of those things
That's not good at all.
But congrats to the USA for defeating Pakistan.
Yeah, I like the left-hand seamer, though. That sounds like a good thing.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. Look, I am not trying to punch down today, especially on a day with so many amazing athletic achievements to talk about. The last thing that I want to do is punch down at low-hanging fruit, but I'm sorry, White Sox. I have to reference this 20-game losing streak. How do you lose 20 Major League Baseball games in a row? I'm Jim Rome.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner. So whether you're planning for retirement or trying to save up for your next big adventure, Vanguard will help work alongside you to set personalized investment goals. That's the value of ownership. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. The Swinging Snakes, they have come out firing in Cleveland tonight. Ketel Marte hits the first pitch of the game for a home run. Gabby Moreno follows that with a home run. What they do, was it the other night? They hit a triple, and then it went homer, homer, 3 straight homers.
It was a triple throwing error that scored. So basically an extra step in the park, inside the park home run, and then 3 solos back to back. So basically the first batter of the game was a triple who scored, and then 3 consecutive solo home runs. Yeah.
And then Randall Grichuk just lined a laser off the shoulder of Guardian starter Logan Allen, and he had to be checked out. He's staying in the game now. The 4th bat, actually, this is the 6th batter of the game already, is McCarthy. And so the Diamondbacks have a quick 2-0 lead here in Cleveland tonight over my Guardians, who are the best team in baseball at 67-44. At least record-wise, they are the best team in baseball right now, after a split of a 4-game series with the Baltimore Orioles, who are also right there among the best teams in baseball. This is going to be an interesting. You've got the Yankees, you've got the Tribe, and you've got the Orioles, all within about a game of each other in terms of record in the American League. So it's going to be a fun race down the stretch to see who comes out of this with home field advantage. They are all considerably right now ahead of the Mariners, who are leading the West, but the Mariners are only 5 games over 500 right now, although they are starting to play much better baseball and have kind of cleared themselves in that division. They're right there with the Astros, just a game up on Houston right now. Houston, again, still the story because they were playing so poorly at the beginning of the season, but have put themselves back into the race in that American League West to try to win that again.
Looking at the last 10, record for over the last 10.
Yeah.
There's only 2 teams in all of Major League Baseball right now, DK, who are 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah.
And that's the Diamondbacks and Padres. The Diamondbacks and Padres are the only teams to go 8 for 10. All the other teams have at least 7 losses.
It's fun. It's that fun time of year in Major League Baseball when the real teams start to separate themselves to get ready for the postseason. So we'll keep an eye on what the Diamondbacks are doing up currently 2-0.
Meanwhile, I'm watching like
Guardians.
Space aliens right around the velodrome Oh man, there's something about this sport, DK.
Oh, is that the biking?
Short track bike, racing, bike racing in the velodrome.
Like on an oval?
Yeah, and they've got those crazy helmets that look like they might as well be on their way to Mars. Yeah.
I've watched that before, and I'm like, that looks very dangerous.
The British have been dominating that short track racing lately.
I want to give you our question of the day from wrap up our question of the day from Friday and read you one of the comments on that. Our question of the day from Friday concerned the possible expansion of the Big 12 Conference as we get into this, and we've said we've got a money line bet that there's going to be expansion before we get to kickoff here at the end of this month. And so our question of the day from Friday is, would you rather the Big 12 expand and add which of these two schools? The two choices were Oregon State and Washington State, the two remaining schools in the Pac-12, or Clemson and Florida State from the ACC. Overwhelmingly, this vote finished in favor, 80-20 in favor of Clemson and Florida State being the two teams that fans would like to add. If the Big 12 is going to expand, they would rather add Clemson and Florida State versus adding Washington State and Oregon State. Chris Hughes is a listener to the show, and he checks in most oftenly on Facebook. And Chris says this. He says, my preference would be for no further expansion, but I would pick the West Coast schools if pushed to do so. Oregon State has a great history in baseball and gymnastics and has had their good moments in softball, men's and women's basketball, and football. Washington State has had some good times in football, men's and women's basketball. I'm not as conversant in history of some of the other sports like golf or soccer or tennis or swimming. I prefer more competition in the Western time zones. So that's an interesting look at it in terms of, two more schools in the West to keep to give you that Western, because again, currently, you can say that the Big 12 has the Pacific time zone, but for the majority of the athletic year, it's only going to be the Mountain time zone, technically. So if you have the two schools on the West Coast, then you've got that time zone as well. And you truly are coast to coast at that point, because you've got, Central Florida to Oregon State, because I think they're a little bit closer to the water than Washington State, which is actually in eastern Washington.
I don't know a ton about the general student population for the Cougars or the Beavers, DK, but I do know that the University of Arizona has 18-20% Southern California kids every single year enroll. And so we're just kind of linked with LA. And so the fact that UCLA and USC are no longer in the same conference will not change that method of recruiting Southern California. We've talked a lot about Washington State and Oregon State. Their connection with Southern California recruiting base, that's an issue. But it's always going to be against Stanford, against USC, against UCLA. Like, regardless of what conference we're talking about, those schools are all split up all over the place. ACC, Big 10, Big 12 now. But it's still going to be the same because of the regional aspect of it. You still want your grandma to be able to drive from LA over to Tucson, right, to see a game. So that pitch into a living room for a high school recruit is still there. As for television having more games on that time zone on the West Coast, I think it's a wait and see. I want to see what kind of time slots Arizona gets put in, because we've had the Pac-12 After Dark for so long. We're so used to football games starting at 8 p.m., DK. I'm curious to see if there's actually a better, because of the television deal and everything else. I'm hoping and assuming that the slots will be slightly better for Arizona fans' viewership coming up in this next conference already.
Well, we'll find out. I don't think that's going to change a whole lot this year. I went to that event on Friday at for the ASE over at the U of A.
Right.
And I was talking to some people who were like, oh, yeah, we can't wait to get better kickoff times. And I'm like trying to explain to them, I don't think the kickoff times are going to be very different in September. I was like, maybe at the end of the year, maybe October and on, we'll have more earlier kickoff times. But if you think all of a sudden we're going to be starting home games at 4 or 5 o'clock in September, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It is too hot to be playing at 4 o'clock in September. I don't see that. I'd be shocked if that happened. I would absolutely be shocked if there is a kickoff time in September that is before. I'll give them 6 o'clock. I'll give them maybe an hour earlier, but I'd be shocked if there's anything ahead
From the
of 6
O'Reilly
o'clock.
Chevrolet Traffic Center.
I'd be absolutely shocked. All right. Cricket wants her time, so we're going to give it to her. Next hour, we'll have much more coming up for you. We're going to hear from Dwayne Aquina today. We'll let you hear from Dwayne Aquina, who just is in love with Trayton Stukes. Thinks he is the best kept secret in college football. You'll hear Dwayne Aquina on that. Also, your offensive lineman, Jonah Savianaya, Josh Baker. We know they're going to start for this offensive line. Right now, we're not sure who the other 3 starters are going to be. We'll dive into all that. DK on the Sports Tip. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center. It's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported Grande and Congress and Grande. Cortero and I-10 reported on the I-10 frontage road near Cortero. Valencia west of I-19, Valencia and Calle Santa Cruz. Glen west of Campbell and also Ahoway west of I-19. A slight chance of showers today, nearly 50% chance of rain tomorrow, and 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. It was a mixed bag for Simone Biles in her final day of competition in Paris. Biles slipped and fell during her beam routine and finished off the podium in 5th place. She rebounded, though, to win silver in the floor exercise, concluding her 2024 games with 4 medals, 3 of them gold. And Biles says she's very satisfied with what she accomplished.
It means the world that I could come back out here and compete on an international stage again, representing my country. I couldn't have asked for a better Olympic Games, better support system, better teammates. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Paris.
Biles now has 11 career Olympic medals, 7 of them gold. Elsewhere in women's gymnastics today, Jordan Childs finished just behind Biles for a bronze on the floor. Suni Lee, just like Biles, had some trouble. She slipped and fell during her beam routine. She finished in 6th place. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Wellness means something different to each of us. And at Westin Hotels and Resorts, we believe every step is an opportunity to enhance your well-being. Whether it's guided group runs and workout gear on demand, or nourishing food options and restorative rest in our heavenly bed. When you travel, you can find wellness at Westin, one of 30 hotel brands in the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio. Find wellness at Westin.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yeah, Goodfellas AC.
Hi, can I get a second opinion from you guys on something?
Of course. It's what we're here for.
So, my wife's brother claimed he'd done some AC repair before.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and now there's kind of a rope and pulley situation that opens the freezer door and a fan inside turns on to cool off the house.
Huh, very creative.
Really?
No, not at all. Next time, call us first, yeah?
Yeah.
Call Goodfellas AC for free estimates and second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard, the driveway needs filling in, or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have Tucson covered from training camp to spring football and everything in between. No one covers Arizona football like we do. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 on a Monday. Glad you could be with us. 520-848-1290 if you want to participate in our show today. If you've got any questions about Arizona Wildcats football camp, which is happening. Arizona soccer has also started practice. I'm still not exactly sure if Arizona volleyball has started practice yet or not. They haven't posted anything recently to their Instagram page, and I don't think I've seen anything on their Twitter account either that has indicated that they have begun practice, so they might not do so till this week. But the soccer ladies were actually on the pitch last night for a closed scrimmage, closed to the public. The media was allowed to attend over at the Murphy Mulcahy last night against Arizona Western, and the ladies won by a score of 2-0. So we'll dive into that maybe a little bit later in the week. They're actually going on the road. They're leaving tomorrow to head over to Las Vegas, where they will play an exhibition or a friendly, as you may have it, against UNLV on Wednesday night. So we'll get into that as well. It just, again, it's, 4 practices, 4 practices and a friendly against the JC. I mean, they don't mess around in soccer. It goes quick. I think, to me, soccer, first of all, soccer is the quickest sport in terms of the beginning of practice to when they're actually playing something meaningful. I mean, think about that. I mean, they started practicing last Tuesday, and they're going to play a meaningful scrimmage or exhibition against a Division I team on Wednesday, like literally a week after they started practicing. So it goes quick. And then they'll be in, again, they always have the first regular season match annually does soccer. So they'll be playing their actual real first game here in the not too distant future as well. So again, it goes very quick when you're talking about soccer. Those ladies will be right back at it on Wednesday night against UNLV. I believe this is the second year in a row that they've gone to Nevada, Las Vegas. Important year. We've said it. Important year for Becca Moros. This is year 4 for her. She was hired the same time Jed Fish was. Jed Fish got his team to the postseason in year 3. Now year 4, 3 seasons without the postseason for Arizona. It will begin for real a week from Thursday at Grand Canyon against the Antelopes. So just a week out, 2 weeks from the start of, essentially, from the start of practice to the first game against Grand Canyon on August 15th for Arizona soccer. 520-848-1290, again, is the number to get in on the program. Football wrapped up their 5th practice today. I want you to hear, we got a chance to hear from Dino Babers on Friday. He said a number of interesting things, and we're going to hear from the linemen as well coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll also hear later this hour from Dwayne Aquina. But I want you to hear what Dino Babers had to say when he was asked about Noah Fifita and what he thinks of Noah Fifita.
Noah's like sainthood. He's like, what was the guy? Not King Arthur. Who was King Arthur's number one knight? Was it Sir Lancelot? Sir Lancelot? That's who he is. He is absolutely amazing. I can't even describe him. You start talking about him and your hair starts standing up like there's something weird with you. I mean, the guy is special.
How about that? Lancelot, the legendary Sir Lancelot du Lac. Speaking of Paris and France.
Didn't Sir Lancelot hang out a little too much with Guinevere, and then that was a bad thing?
I don't know the whole story. I'm sure there is a history teacher that's listening to the program who might be able to call up and let us know I know there were some affairs involved with Sir Lancelot. But I guess in terms of his value to the army,
well, he's
and what he did for his country.
His character is meant to be pure, purely bought in.
Yeah.
The character of Lancelot is just overall in all different variations of it, more above everything else. DK is just meant to be 100% for the cause. So I believe that's more the reference. I'm just making a joke.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Absolutely. I mean, just that the ultimate warrior, I think, is where you're going with when you make the comparison to Sir Lancelot, a guy who in battle everyone is going to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
Is going to lead the troops. So a very interesting comparison there to Noah Fifita, Sir Lancelot. I like that. I like when we bring history into the sporting realm to put a comparison on the athletes that we love. We'll hear more from Dino Babers coming up a little bit later in the hour. And again, we'll also hear from Dwayne Aquina. Beach volleyball at the Olympics wrapped up today. Unfortunately, it was not the outcome that Miles Evans and Chase Budinger were looking for today.
It's another beautiful day. Eiffel Tower Stadium, the United States taking on Norway. United States team of Chase Budinger and Miles Evans. Norway, Anders Mol, Christian Sorum.
The talk of these Olympic Games has been the Swedish jump set offense. Let me get the crowd on my side and put them in a weird and awkward, uncomfortable situation.
Now Chase Budinger on two, and Budinger is there. Now Chase Budinger hustling from the service spot. Budinger, watch the hustle. Mole is at the net. Budinger on two, it's blocked. Popped up, Budinger tried again, yes! They lead 4-3. Little quick set, and Budinger right there. So Chase Budinger looking energized early.
Chase Budinger serving against the second match point against them. Big opportunity, and off the block. The Norwegians have done it. The USA can be mighty proud of the performance they put in against the Olympic champions. But a 21-16, 21-14 victory for Norway's Anders Mol and Christian Sorum sees them through to the quarterfinals. And for now, at least, for the Vikings, the sun always shines on TV.
So I left that laugh part in because I needed to ask you about it, but is it a thing that they say somewhere around the world that the sun always shines on Vikings on TV? Because I've never heard that before.
I'd never heard that either.
Okay.
No, I have no idea what he meant by that.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, DK, Chase is mid-30s.
Yeah.
And not to say that there haven't been a lot of very successful beach volleyball players who get up in age. It's just such a different musculature, right? I mean, you spend, 16 years of your life focused on basketball, and doing sprints and all that whole thing, and then changed to volleyball. They had a great run. They made the round of 16 up against the defending Olympic champions there. That was just a tough ask. And as you could hear from some of those highlights, Chase did have some big moments in these Olympics, but not quite enough for that team to advance.
No, Anders Mole and Christian Sorum, again, as you mentioned, the defending Olympic champions. They won the Beach Volleyball World Championship in 2022. Chase Budinger and Miles Evans finished 9th overall at the competition in Paris. So, again, a good run. We'll see if, the Olympics obviously are in Los Angeles coming up in 2028. Does Chase try to stick around to make another run and compete on his home soil? I'm sure that if there's an opportunity, he'll give it all that he can to try to make that happen. And now it looks like, ending that thought, it looks like we've got an injury to one of the Diamondbacks. Gabby Moreno is down on the field. Looks like he pulled up as he got to first base, trying to beat out a ground ball. And he is hurt. Not sure what happened. Didn't look like it was an ankle turn or anything of that nature, but you've already got the injury to Christian Walker that necessitated the trade to get Josh Bell. And now you've got Gabby Moreno, who looks like who just homered in this game earlier in the first inning. Now it looks like he's going to have to leave the game tonight in Cleveland, where the Tribe has rallied to tie the game 2-2 in the second inning. So we'll keep an eye on Gabby Moreno and update you on that if we get any information on what has happened with him. We'll get into also the coaches poll is out in college football today. And Georgia, and I don't know if that's any surprise to anyone, Georgia is number one. 5 teams received first place votes. Georgia got 46 first place votes. Ohio State got 7 first place votes. They're number 2. And then the other 2 first place votes went to Texas and Michigan. Arizona is in the top 25. We'll tell you where they are in our next segment. We are joined by the third member of our program right now. Her name is Cricket.
Hey, boys.
Cricket, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How was the weekend? Anything exciting happen?
I just pulled some weeds, got some work done on my car.
Still
and
pulling
dogs.
the weeds. So how long of a process is this weed thing? Like,
infinite.
Do you pull them
Forever.
and then like 2 weeks later the same ones you just pulled are back?
That's why I pull them, and I don't weed eat them. I want to pull the roots out and get rid of the seeds. But the spots that I've been working on, 2 weeks ago, now there's new stuff coming up there as I try to move across the yard. Yeah, it's infinite, like J-Dub said. What'd you guys do? Did you have fun at Corbett's?
Oh, no, we went to, not Corbett, we went to Cold Beer and Cheeseburgers.
Oh, my bad.
Yes, Cold Beer and Cheeseburgers on Friday night. It was packed. It's a very popular place. It's one of Tucson's newest sports bars, and they have a number of different sports. They had the Olympics on there. They had baseball on. So, yeah, there was a lot of people there eating and hanging out. It was good to meet Paige, the lovely lady of Mr. JW. Have you met Paige?
I've not.
You've not met Paige?
No.
Okay.
She doesn't come over here much. She's busy.
Oh, she's
busy.
Well, she does. She's actually come here to this building with me like 15 or 20 times, but not between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. in the morning, or during drive time.
All right.
She works.
She teaches kindergartners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's a queen, because that cannot be, dealing with 5 and 6 year olds cannot be an easy job.
She's teaching people how to be people.
Exactly.
Good for
teaching
her.
people how to be people.
I like that.
I wonder what that was like when I was when we were in kindergarten. Like, what were we like as people? I barely have some remembrance of my one kindergarten year, and I kind of have a little bit of remembrance of my other one. But yeah, I just remember sitting in a circle. Sitting in a circle is the one thing that kind of stands out to me.
Here's the thing, DK. If you're not capable of sitting in a circle at that age, then you can't graduate. So that's a big part of it.
Really?
Yeah. Those are big credentials.
Stand in line, be in a circle.
Stand in line, yeah.
Do what your teacher's told. Don't talk back. Don't don't throw a temper tantrum in the middle of class. Those kind of things are basically, they're trying to, it's prep for the next stage of learning, which requires a little bit more focus and attention on what the teacher's saying. This is, teaching people how to pay attention to the teachers, basically.
Yeah. Well, it can't be easy. It cannot be easy whatsoever. All right. Well, I hope we get those weeds under control.
Never.
You know?
It's going to be...
So we can actually get to something more fun, like actually planning something we might be able to eat or something of that nature. Do you have edibles that you have in your garden as well, or
No. Well, I have fruit trees, but that comes
trees.
like maybe in, that's about like February-ish.
Now are they what I call beautification fruit trees, or can you actually eat them?
You can eat them.
Okay.
I've got 6 fruit trees.
What fruits are we?
Pomegranates,
Ooh.
Tangelos.
I've never really ate pomegranates.
Me neither, but it's a beautiful tree.
Tangelos.
Or maybe they're tangelas. I don't know.
Tangelas,
But they're
okay.
like a cross between, I think, a tangerine and an orange.
All right.
They're kind of tart. They're really good with sugar. 2 orange trees and a lemon tree.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Lots of citrus in Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very nice. I don't have any of that growing in my condo.
We had a pomegranate, kumquat, grapefruit, couple of orange trees. That was the house I grew up in, yeah.
There you go.
Pretty common.
Very nice. All right. So Cricket, if you have any tips for Cricket and her weeds, we will take those. You can text them to us at 520-848-1290, and we will pass those along to her. Right now, she's going to pass along the traffic and the weather to you.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together with some backups westbound Ajo Way approaching Mission. Collisions that are reported and clearing Orange Grove east of 1st Avenue, Ina and I-10 and some slowing in that area, Grande and Congress, and also Valencia west of I-19 at Valencia and Calle Santa Cruz. There's about a 15% chance of showers today. There's nearly a 50% chance of rain tomorrow. 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Air, they'll help with any of your air conditioning needs, always keeping you cool. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected air conditioning experts at coolwillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's coolwillies.com. coolwillies.com.
Not all sports stations are built the same way. 1290 has Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, plus the NFL and the Super Bowl. Tucson trusts 1290. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
3 reasons I ditched my old school deodorant and made the switch to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. First, Lumi is crazy effective. It controls odor in a new way and keeps me fresher longer. Second, it's a whole body deodorant that works on every nook and cranny. You know, the ones we all have. My pits, underboob, thigh folds, behind, and even feet. Use it anywhere. Third, Lumi was created by an OBGYN. I don't know about you, but knowing Lumi was formulated by an OBGYN who knows all about safety below the belt is super reassuring. Experience a new way to control odor longer that works everywhere. There's a special offer for listeners. Go to LumiDeodorant.com and use code WORKS and get 15% off your first purchase with code WORKS. Like the Lumi Starter Pack, acidified body wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code WORKS for 15% off your first purchase. Love it, or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code WORKS to save 15% today.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Arizona Wildcats fans, make your smartphone smarter by liking us on Facebook at Wildcats 1290 for all the latest on the Wildcats, including football, men's hoops, and baseball. This is the exclusive home of Arizona football. Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Dolphins and wide receiver Tyreek Hill agreed to a new contract worth up to $90 million over the next 3 years, including $65 million guaranteed, according to NFL Network's Cam Wolfe and insider Ian Rappaport. Hill was also named the #1 overall player on the NFL's top 100 list of 2024, becoming the first wide receiver in its 14-year history to take the top spot. Lamar Jackson came in at #2, followed by Christian McCaffrey at 3 and Patrick Mahomes at 4. Meantime, 7 new members were enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, including Andre Johnson, Julius Peppers, Patrick Willis, Devin Hester, Randy Gradishar, Steve McMichael, and Dwight Freeney. And the #2 overall pick of the 2024 draft is set to see his first NFL action this week. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn says quarterback Jaden Daniels will play in the team's preseason opener this Saturday against the Jets. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Lone Star Transfer. If you felt like booking your timeshare was difficult in the past, you know it's been almost impossible over the last few years. With an A+ rating at the BBB, our clients know Lone Star Transfer is the only company they can trust. We guarantee the release of all liability.
DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Cleveland leading Arizona now 3-2. 3-2 at the end of 2 innings on the lakefront in Northeast Ohio. That's your Diamondbacks update. Guardians, the best team in baseball. Don't forget that. Let's talk to our guy, Bill, from 520 Sports Talk. Bill, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Good, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm heading up to Glendale for the Indoor Football League Western Conference Championship today at Desert Diamond Arena.
And that's, I would imagine, is that involving the Arizona Wranglers?
The Rattlers and the San Diego Strike Force.
Ah, okay.
The Rattlers were the 3 seed going into the playoffs, and they upset the Las Vegas Nighthawks last week. And the 4 seed, the San Diego Strike Force, upset Dixie Wooten San Jose, #1 seed. So you've got the 3 and the 4 playing for the Western Conference title to go to the national championship game in Henderson in a couple of weeks.
Bill, you obviously cover the Tucson Sugar Skulls at length during the season. What was your top takeaway from this disappointing 2024 campaign?
I like Coach Billy back. I think he is somebody that you want to stay with. One of the things that I don't understand was the Sugar Skulls just having the revolving door with their head coaches over the last few years, and it's just hard to.
That is a problem.
Yeah, it's just hard to be consistent and to kind of build a program. I like Billy back. I don't think he had a lot to work with this year, to be honest. So, and if you look at the record, you're going to say this is a total disaster. But if you look at the scores and if you were at the game, they were in almost every single game that they played, and a lot of times they lose by one possession, that type of score. So if you really dig into it, they were very, very competitive. I think with a few roster moves on the off season, they could be right back in the thick of things.
Well, and we've come to know in the 4 years now that they've been in this league, 5 years now, that you've got to have a quarterback. And I think it's clear they don't necessarily have a quarterback that can compete or at least push them to a high level in this league right now.
No, agreed. I thought it was going to be different when Arizona sent Drew Powell down to Tucson. He was the 3-time MVP. Just couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs with the Rattlers. And for whatever reason, he was at odds with his contract and jumped over to the Arena League where he still is. But the Arena League, in my opinion, is on life support. I don't know that you can have more than one indoor football league sustained, in the off season where the NFL's not playing.
Very interesting. What is the outlook for tonight's game? Who's the favorite?
Arizona's a slight favorite. They both split their season series. Ironically, they both won on the road at each other's home. Arizona's got a big edge at head-to-head, but a lot of that came early when San Diego was an expansion team a couple of years ago. Arizona would just run them out of the building. But Arizona's kind of an enigma. I always have a great regular season. Sometimes they don't perform up to expectations in the playoffs. But Kevin Guy, with his win over Las Vegas last week, became the winningest coach in indoor arena-type football.
And what does the other side of the bracket look like in terms of the Eastern Conference?
You know what? I have not had a chance to look at that, to be honest. I know I probably should, but I've been busy with high school football. We had 3 great shows with Tucson High, Cholla, and South Point, so I've been kind of preoccupied in that regard.
It looks like 3-seed Massachusetts taking on number 1 seed Green Bay in the Eastern Conference, with the winner taking on the winner of San Diego and Arizona for the championship. Hopefully, someday.
I had a chance to watch.
Go ahead.
Massachusetts play. I'm sorry. I had a chance to watch Massachusetts a couple years ago going head-to-head with the Rattlers at the Footprint Center when they played there. Massachusetts ended up coming up on top on that one. There is no love loss between Massachusetts and Arizona. I can tell you that firsthand.
There you go. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hopefully someday we're talking about Arizona or the Tucson Sugar Skulls being a team that is competing for this championship in this league. Maybe next year, hopefully not too far in the distant future. Actually, I should correct myself. This game was Friday night, so Massachusetts won 51-28, so they're in the championship. So they knocked out the number 1 seed, held them to 28 points. That's pretty effective. And then San Diego and Arizona tonight at 7:05 at the Desert Diamond Arena.
Yeah, we'll be doing, I got to switch hats. We'll be doing it for 602 Sports Talk up in the Valley. But I will have some Twitter highlights, and we'll always have a article on the 520sportstalk.com website.
Bill McCullough has the youth scene covered as well through 520 Sports Talk. We've been talking a lot about the Little League World Series and the team from Wilcox. We'll update you on that since we have not done that yet in the show, but they lost today in their second game at the Little League World Series in Greenville, North Carolina. They fell to Rhode Island by a score of 3-0. So Hattie McCumber and company now in the losers, or well, not losers, elimination bracket is, I guess, the correct way to say it. They'll head to the elimination bracket and will have to play their way back in for an opportunity to try to reach the final and play the international championship. But when you got a Hattie McCumber on the mound, you've got that opportunity. She struck out 15 in their opening win over Pennsylvania on Saturday. So we'll see if they can rebound and get back on track in their next ball game. Have you had a chance to get out and talk to that outfit out there in Wilcox, Bill?
Yeah, actually, I talked to her dad, Hattie's dad. He and I go back to last couple of years when I was covering their son in Wilcox Cowboy football. He did very well, and Hattie's dad, they're taking it one day at a time. It's kind of hard to go from 15 strikeouts to losing the next game. I mean, you know how a lot of times baseball and softball is kind of that animal. You know, you might score 10 runs one game and then have a hard time getting on the board the next game. So it's just kind of the nature of the beast. But I think they got a good chance to right the ship. Softball in Little League softball in Southern Arizona is very, very good. If you remember last year, the Marana Juniors went to the Little League World Series up in Washington and ended up losing to the eventual champion Hawaii girls, but also played very well and represented very well.
Absolutely. It's there's never a year where at least one team from Southern Arizona does not either make it too deep into a regional tournament or in many factors makes it all the way to the World Series national, international level as well. That's one of the things we can kind of hang our hat on every single summer on both the baseball and the softball side. Bill, hey, we appreciate you checking in and update us on what happens with that game tomorrow.
Will do. Thanks, brother.
All right, Bill McCullough, 520 Sports Talk. Be sure you follow them and everything that they do on Facebook, on Twitter as well. They do great videos with all of our top youth programs throughout Southern Arizona. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in our program if you would like to. We were talking about the coaches poll, the AFCA College Football Coaches Poll Top 25. Let's give you the full rundown on that before we get out of this particular segment here. We mentioned Georgia with 46 first-place votes. They are number 1. Ohio State is number 2. Oregon is number 3. Texas 4 and Alabama 5. 6 to 10, Mississippi, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, and Florida State. 11 to 15 is Missouri, LSU, Utah from the Big 12, Clemson, and Tennessee. So already you're looking right there when we go back to our question of the day from Friday, whether or not you would like to have Florida State and Clemson in the Big 12. Florida State 10, Clemson 14 to go along with Utah at 13. And then you've got Kansas State at 16 and Oklahoma State at 18. All right. So if you bring in Clemson and Florida State, that's 5 teams right there. That's 5 teams that Arizona would have to compete above to have a chance to win the Big 12 championship. Or maybe, again, and you never know what the outlook, or I should say not the outlook, but the at-large world or at-large realm is going to represent once we get to this 12-team playoff this year. How many of those at-large spots are going to go to the Big 12? I can guarantee you probably if the Big 12 were to get 2 bids, it's probably going to be the Big 12 champion and probably the team that makes the Big 12 championship and loses. And that gets increasingly harder for a school like Arizona if you're dealing with a Clemson and a Florida State. I mean, let's just be honest. So that's why I'm surprised that there were 80% of the voters out there that would take Clemson and Florida State in the Big 12. That does nothing for you if you're Arizona. Positive, in my mind. Nothing. We can talk about, they'll bring in more money, blah, 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 more money for us to spend. I don't know if that's going to give you enough money to spend to be able to out-recruit and consistently be on a level where you could beat those two programs.
It's such a fine line, right? Because you got to have look at Gonzaga basketball. You got to have somebody in your conference you could beat up on that impresses the pollsters, right? Like you need to have teams that are successful in your own conference, because without those in-conference big-time wins, DK, you never. Doesn't matter if you're 8-2, whatever. They'll say, yeah, but who did you beat? So it's such a fine line. You want to have teams, but after coming off a situation in this last conference where perennially there would always be one, if not two, top 5 teams, right? I mean, you look at Utah and Oregon's success the last 5 years, Stanford 12 years ago, whatever, USC over the length of their entire program. Yeah, I mean, I think I could see both ways, but I think right now, today, DK, you want to see Arizona go into a conference that they have a chance to win tomorrow. And that is less likely if those two schools, Clemson and Florida State, joined this year. However, moving forward, I believe it seems like Arizona is really creating their own new history, a new history in a new conference based on the success of last year, building upon that. It's a completely different era. So Arizona we've talked about this quite a bit the last 6 months, has an opportunity to write their name in that book of those teams that are expected to challenge for the playoff every single year. And right now, they're picked to finish 3rd, according to this poll, right? They're the 3rd highest ranked college coaches poll going in today, would be the 5th if those other two teams are represented. So, yeah, you got to have teams you can beat up on that impress the pollsters. You also want to have a chance to get 9-10 wins every year.
All right, again, 1 through 15 in the coaches poll: Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, Florida State, Missouri, LSU, Utah, Clemson, and Tennessee. That is 1 through 15. Arizona is in this poll. We'll tell you where they are after Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported Ina and I-10 reported on Ina near I-10. Orange Grove east of 1st Avenue and also Congress and Grande. Backups for westbound Ajo Way approaching Mission. There's a slight chance of showers today, about a 50% chance of rain tomorrow. 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
3 reasons I ditched my old school deodorant and made the switch to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. First, Lumi is crazy effective. It controls odor in a new way and keeps me fresher longer. Second, it's a whole body deodorant that works on every nook and cranny. You know, the ones we all have. My pits, underboob, thigh folds, behind, and even feet. Use it anywhere. Third, Lumi was created by an OBGYN. I don't know about you, but knowing Lumi was formulated by an OBGYN who knows all about safety below the belt is super reassuring. Experience a new way to control odor longer that works everywhere. There's a special offer for listeners. Go to LumiDeodorant.com and use code SUPER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SUPER. Like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code SUPER. For 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code SUPER. To save 15% today.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
This is Zach Gelb of the Sports Minute. Yesterday, ESPN revealed details of a draft and the notice of allegations against Michigan from the sign-stealing scandal. And let me be clear, however the NCAA decides to move forward, one thing they shouldn't do is vacate Michigan's national championship. I'm not saying Michigan didn't do anything wrong, but they were still allowed to play and still beat schools like Penn State, Ohio State, Alabama, and Washington after the scandal became public. So just maybe the infractions aren't as advantageous as some make them out to be. I'm Zach Gelb.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Day 5 of fall camp came to a conclusion today. Your Arizona Wildcats are in the coaches poll for the top 25. We've been talking about that. I gave you the top 15 teams in the poll. Here's how it shakes out: 16-25. Oklahoma, the team that the Wildcats beat in the Alamo Bowl, is 16. Kansas State is 17. Oklahoma State is 18. So Utah at 13. Kansas State at 17. Oklahoma State at 18. Those are your top 3 Big 12 schools. Then you've got Miami, the Hurricanes, at number 19. 20 is Texas A&M. 21 is Arizona. Arizona is 21. North Carolina State is 22. Southern California is 23. So the Wildcats currently ranked higher than the Trojans, who are going to the Big 10. Kansas, also from the Big 12, comes in at number 24, followed by Iowa, rounding out the 25th spot in the coaches' poll. So, again, you've got from the Big 12, Utah at 13, Kansas State at 17, Oklahoma State at 18, Arizona at 21, and Kansas at 24. That is 5 teams in the top 25. Among the teams that received votes, the top team that received votes, the Washington Huskies, who are not in either top 25 poll. whether it's the AP writers or the coaches poll. And I guess Jedd Fisch had a shirt at practice that had the top 25 on it. And on the back, it said, "Where's Washington?" Not in the top 25. We'll see how that plays out for Jedd Fisch and company, as they've had to replace a whole lot of folks from that team that went to the national championship game. Among other Big 12 teams who received votes, West Virginia is on the list. Iowa State received votes. Texas Tech, Central Florida also receiving votes, as did Colorado, received 2 votes, and that rounds out the teams from the Big 12. All right, speaking of Arizona football, we had a chance to hear from Dwayne Aquina. There's nothing better than hearing from Dwayne Aquina. And Dwayne Aquina, if you hear him talk about anything this season, it is going to be how high in regard he holds one of his best defensive backs, a young man, a senior by the name of Trayden Stukes.
Here's a guy that's as good of a player as I've had, and I can drop some names on you. Michael Huff, Quentin Jammer, Chris McAllister. I mean, he is one of the best-kept secrets out there.
What does he have that those guys have?
Okay, so there's a really unique. So we played as many as 8 defensive backs in the secondary. There's a lot of guys that can athletically play all 8, can run fast, jump high, can cover, can play inside, can be physical, can learn the game. The mental side of the game is what's huge, okay? So to have somebody that can mentally play all 8 positions and learn 8 positions, that's unique. But then to have the ability to play all 8, meaning to be able to play press corner, yet now come in there and play boundary safety, that you're a box player, that's what's really unique. And I've only had a handful that have been able to do all of it, you know. I mean, Justin Reed, who I had at Stanford, could do it all. Michael Huff, who I had at the University of Texas, could do them all, you know. So that's what makes Stukes really unique. And what you saw at the Oklahoma game, as we had injuries and we had to keep making some adjustments on the sideline, because Stukes was a heck of a player, and that's what we had matched up Stukes with all game long. But once we lost the corner, and then that became an issue, Stukes hadn't played corner since the Mississippi State game. I mean, practice or anything. And then to go up there and line up and do a great job on taking that, when they went to trips, taking the boundary safety away. And then to be able to, when we went to man coverage, to play Stukes, when we played zone coverage, to play all the corner situations. Very unique that you can learn that with no reps. But that's why you need a concept learner. And that's where he's unique. And he'll run 4-4 low. You know, he'll do all of those things.
Do you think it bothers him or motivates him that he's maybe a little bit under the radar?
Well, I don't think he cares, you know, but that's all one of the things. He may not have been at the point of attack much, but part of that is the guys weren't open. You know, so when you see a guy that got a lot of pass breakups, well, he's targeted, all right? And many times he might have been beat and the ball was underthrown. But for the media, you just see a number. Oh, he must be a heck of a player. But I always get a kick out of this, PFF, NFL, where he was successful on these many targets, the ball. Well, he was beat, but the ball was underthrown, so it goes down as an incompletion. Now, when you're talking to the DB coach, we need to get that fixed. Because don't trust luck. If you want to talk about playing for championships and all, you need to execute.
So what are you looking for at that other corner opposite of Takario?
Well, we're looking for somebody that can run, obviously. We're a press man team to start with, and we'll have complementary defenses to it. So being able to play man coverage is a starting point, being physical. All right, when I judge a defense on their toughness, the first position I look at is the corners, and not somebody that will attack an exposed receiver. Anybody can do that, you know, and that gets glorified, and those are big hits. But where I judge toughness is when you line up on a tight end and it's a down block and here comes 600 pounds running with you and there's eye-to-eye contact. Who are you now? All right, that's how you judge toughness. Because I've said it for many years, it's an insult if people just call you a cover corner. That's not what you're out to be. It's an insult if they just call you a box safety, all right? What you come here to play at the University of Arizona, you're coming here to play defensive back, which means that entails it all. that you're physical, that you can play zone, that you can line up play man coverage, that you're a great teammate, you play special teams. That's what you come to do here.
How do you teach that? How do you teach corners taking on 300-pound linemen?
Well, some of the drills now are illegal that I used to do. Okay, you can talk to some of my Texas guys, But there's a couple of things. You can develop toughness. Okay, and through drill work, where there's a lot of physical eye to eye, it's a contact sport. Okay, and you got to go play. Getting guys stronger in the weight room develops self-confidence. As the bench press goes up, you develop more confidence. So it comes with time, and you challenge them. Sometimes tough love, as you being a parent, you got to call guys out, and then you see where he responds. And the really good ones that I've had that want to complete their game, it might take a year and a half, but yeah. I mean, I got guys that were scared to death when they first came in, and I got video evidence on everything I do, and I use that with the corners on national championship game. Shockey Brown, came in as a cover corner, and here we are against an All-American from Alabama, and he drops them on a counter, and it's just wonderful to see their development. But that's why they call you coach. Anybody can coach Chuck Cecil or Michael Huff. You make your money on guys that you got to develop in some shortcomings, But that's the trick in coaching, is to find everybody's hot button, and what they don't quite have, you got to find ways to help them in that area.
Do you envision Stooks playing corner
during
training camp?
Oh, yeah.
And how do you see just the defensive backs?
Well, I think it's a chance to we have a possibility of being a very deep secondary. Our secondary played very well last year. What we started doing is getting them all in one room, because I believe that you have to be connected. I mean, this is the first place I've been that, there were times I didn't have a GA, and coached all 8 positions. But I think you have to be connected. So it would be, I use the analogy because now people have a corners coach, a safeties coach, a nickels coach. That would be like an offensive line having a GA, you coach the centers, you're the guards coach, you're the tackles coach, you guys go in a separate room. That's hard to do because you got to be connected back there. So I see between him, Dacario Gunner is another one, Dalton Johnson is another one, Genesis Smith, get used to the name. Owen Goss, I think we guessed right on him coming in. So I think there's a possibility that we're a really deep secondary, and what you're looking for is a competitiveness, The best players I've had, the best secondaries I've been around have been very competitive. Not combative, but competitive, because that's the only way you reach your potential as a player, if you are pushed. And like I say every year, this whole secondary is coming back. Well, it needs the right corner position, the nickel position, the field safety position. It needs to be paid better than it was a year ago. If I'm doing my job, if player is doing his job, it needs to be played better. Could be the same name, or it could be I've been in a situation where a year ago starter got complacent and got beaten out by a younger player. Because that's what we do, as I share with everybody, when I go out and recruit, I'm looking for a better player at each position.
What is Jack
going out there to try to hunt somebody that is better than you? So you better not stand still. But that's how the standard in the room keeps going. And you got to coach your best players the hardest. Because if you coach your best players the hardest, they keep improving, because the room will chase the best players. And that's how you create a culture in the room.
What have you seen from Jack Luttrell that could put him in that conversation as a guy?
He's really hard. I tell you, on the football field, he plays hard. He's physical. It jumps off the screen that he loves ball, okay? Now can he do all the mental side of the game too? So in today's world, it doesn't matter just what's on paper. I've seen a lot of guys that run fast, lift the ball. They're a great player on paper. What does your film say? That's the bottom line. And now what entails to that is being able to have the mental side of the game. Can you learn? When you put 21 other moving pieces out there, how do you react in that, rather than just looking at a page and memorizing that? The game is just really fascinating that way. But certainly we get right on him on the field, running around, playing hard, passionate about the game. Now let's just see when we start getting into game day where we're at. But we guessed right, and I'm glad he's here.
Coach Aquina kind of put this in.
All right, that is Dwayne Aquina, the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Wildcats, talking about his DBs. The last one, he was talking about Jack Luttrell. Jack suffered an injury in practice today. We'll have to kind of get an update maybe tomorrow on his situation. Ran into the goalpost standard out on the practice field, and it's not like a normal goalpost that you see on an actual field. This is like a temporary standard, and it's a lot larger. And he and I believe it was Devin Hyatt were on a route, and they both went slamming into this thing into the end zone. And Luttrell was down for a number of minutes. Did get back up and walked off, but with help. Possibly a concussion. Well, we don't know that for sure, but just appeared to potentially be that type of situation. So we'll have to continue to monitor the situation involving Jack Luttrell, who is definitely playing his way into a reserve role in this secondary. Youngster, just a sophomore. There was also another injury to an offensive lineman today at the end of practice. We were not able to see exactly who that was. Don't want to speculate on who it was. We weren't able to get a number on it as we were exiting the indoor facility at the end of practice, but that looked to potentially be a serious injury. So, I mean, the Wildcats have, they've had some minor injuries that we've been discussing. There's some starters that have been out. Genesis Smith was held out of practice today. He kind of worked on the side. Wendell Moy is still working on the side. Josh Baker dressed, but did not take a lot of reps with the team sessions today. Don't know if that was just by design that they were getting some other people reps. We saw a lot of Grayson Stovall today at the center position, as well as the other young man out of New Mexico that we talked about earlier that has transferred over, and that is Shenko, as we have become to know him, Issei, and he got some reps with the centers as well in the number 2 spot. So Shenko Mattioti, also known as Issei, 6'2", 346 pounds. So we'll kind of continue to work our way through what's happening with the Arizona Wildcats offensive line. But, Jack Luttrell did suffer an injury today. We'll update you on that once we know more. Well, no practice tomorrow, but once we know more on Wednesday. It's DK on the Sports Tip. My name is David Kelly. We've got J.W. Madden here. We've got Cricket here as well. She'll be back with more in the 5 o'clock hour. We will also hear from 2 of your offensive linemen. We'll hear from the 2 guys we know, at least at this point. We're going to start center Josh Baker and right tackle Jonah Savia-Naya. You are listening right now to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With backups on westbound Ajo approaching Mission, new collision reported Bilby and Park Avenue and Bilby, and clearing Ina and I-10 reported on Ina near I-10, slowing there. Orange Grove east of First Avenue. And for your weather, a very slight chance of showers today into this evening, nearly a 50% chance of rain tomorrow, and 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. It's time to experience the thrill of the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. It's free to play. Play for fun and no purchases necessary. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Team USA has 1 gold medal today thanks to Val Allman, who won the women's discus with a throw of 69.5 meters. They'll have a chance for another in the women's surfing competition after Caroline Marks advanced to the gold medal match with a win in the semifinals. A busy day for U.S. volleyball. Indoors, the men's team advanced to the semifinals with a 3-1 win over Brazil. On the beach, the men's team of Miles Partain and Andy Benish advanced to the quarterfinals with a 2-0 win over Italy, while Miles Evans and Chase Buttinger lost to Norway in straight sets. On the women's side, Kristen Nuss and Taryn Cloth fell to Canada. 3 American men are through to the semifinals of the 200 meters. Noah Lyles, Arian Knighton, and Kenny Bednarik all won their heats. And all 3 U.S. women qualified for the 200-meter final. Gabby Thomas and Brittany Brown won their heats to advance, while Mackenzie Long was third in her heat, but she made it through on time. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Pain means pause on the things you love, but green means go. Cool the pain with BioFreeze and keep on going. BioFreeze cools and relieves sore muscles and joints. It works fast and is long-lasting by using cold therapy to help relieve the pain. In fact, it's the #1 clinician-recommended menthol topical pain relief brand based on Ipsos clinician survey of chiropractors, podiatrists, massage therapists, retail pharmacists, and athletic trainers. BioFreeze. Green means go. Learn more.
1290 is the one place you can always count on for Arizona Wildcat sports.
Oh, man. Praise the Lord. Thank you.
You will never miss a game if you have your radio locked on 1290.
Such a good feeling to be a Wildcat.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the University area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the University area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
Marco Polo. Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber. Right here. Plumber. Right here.
Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land, where you can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the wrong thing you ordered. We got it all. Potholes, people talking at the movies, and don't forget about flat tires when it's raining. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing, so customize your coverage with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. And relax, knowing you got the coverage you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data.
TCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 on this Monday. So glad to have you with us. The start of another week. We'll be with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. We will not have a show on Friday this week. And there goes my music. So it's just me now. We will not have a show on Friday, but then we'll be back with you the following week and have 5 full shows for you. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Day number 5 of fall camp today out at the practice fields for Arizona football. Just a few of we've gone over some of the takeaways, top takeaways from today's practice. A few of the things, notes on scorecard, as I like to say, taken from a great columnist back in the day for the Los Angeles Times, notes on scorecard. Noah Fifita had a nice touchdown pass, long touchdown pass to Rex Haynes today. Really did a nice job of staying in the pocket, felt his pocket, rode up into it to hit Haynes for a touchdown. Rex Haynes got a lot of run today with the first team, which is something we had not seen before. Rex Haynes, who is the son of NFL Hall of Fame cornerback Mike Haynes, a long time of the Raiders, and played some years with the New England Patriots, and he has been on this team as a wide receiver. There were some rumors last year that he might switch to defense. That never happened. He stayed on the offensive side of the ball, and now he's a guy, when you talk about young men who have a chance to maybe stand up and be noticed with the injury right now to Tetairoa McMillan, Rex Haynes, Bobby Wade said today, we had a chance to hear from Bobby Wade after practice today. Bobby Wade mentioned Rex Haynes as well as he mentioned A.J. Jones as being among those guys who are getting that X receiver work now with Tetero McMillan being out of the lineup, still coming back from his injury. And Rex Haynes stepped up with a big play today. It was also nice to see Noah Fifita spreading the ball around to his tight ends. Had a nice play to Keon Burnett. In fact, Keon Burnett caught a couple of nice balls today in practice. He works with both the first and the second teams, so he sees a lot of his throws from Noah Fifita as well as Braden Dorman at times, or Cole Tannenbaum, who are both vying for that number 2 quarterback position. Anthony Garcia is probably right now in the running for that number 3 quarterback spot. He throws a really nice out ball. He can throw the deep out. Anthony Garcia can. He's the young man from San Jose State that came down here and transferred with the coaching staff. He is a redshirt freshman, so he's a young guy, 6'1", 192 pounds. But I've seen him so far throw a number of very nice deep outs. And that's one of my favorite passes. That's the pass that lets me know a guy can play quarterback. If you can throw that deep out, then I know you have a chance to make other throws. Because to me, that is the hardest throw to make in football. We mentioned Josh Baker did not play a lot in the team setting today. Grayson Stovall got a lot of those reps with the first team at center. Grayson Stovall, now a redshirt sophomore in his third year out of Chandler Hamilton. 6'3", 310-pounder. We saw a lot today, obviously, of Ryan Stewart with the injuries to the guard spots that we've been talking about, and Leif Magnuson was not in there. Ryan Stewart got some run at that right guard position today, so it was good to continue to see him. Chuba Maye, and we'll go over these names once again because, again, we joked on Friday that for almost 2+ seasons we were referring to Wendell Moy as Wendell Mo, when in fact it's Wendell Moy. And I think we've been referring to Chuba May as Chuba May. It's actually Chuba Maye is how you pronounce his name. So it's Chuba Maye. Chuba Maye. Chuba Maye is how you pronounce that young man's name. Chuba, as in choo-choo. Chuba, even though it's spelled Chubba, Chuba Maye, M-A''AE, is how you pronounce his name. Chuba Maye has been absent for the last 2 practices on that defensive line. And with him out, Keanu Mailoto has been getting those reps. Keanu is a 6'5", 300-pound redshirt junior college transfer from Mount San Antonio College in Southern California. So he's been getting a lot of those reps on the defensive line. There have been a number of scouts present for all of the 5 practices from the National Football League. Among the scouts there today, Buffalo Bills, Atlanta Falcons, Baltimore Ravens. There was another scout there. I think there were 5 scouts there today. I could not make out the team from the other scout that was there today. Another player who continues to impress and look good on the defensive line is Tai Ugalele. I think we called him Tai for a long time, but that's because that's what the coaching staff, the Jed Fish coaching staff, was calling him Tai. It's actually Tai.
Therein lies the problem. Okay? What you just said right there. Now, I don't think anybody in this industry, DK, is trying to upset the ancestors of any college football athlete, right? It's not like people are intentionally trying to hurt people's feelings. But when you have a coaching staff that calls one of their own players by a certain in a certain manner.
Right.
And that's what we hear. Isn't that where it needs to start, is with the phonetical pronunciations being correct from
By
those
the
who
coaches.
are talking about those players and how they look in practice?
Mm-hmm. It starts at the top. It's the minutia, the small details, as we found out. We'll let you hear tomorrow, Bobby Wade. I asked him about that because one of the things I noticed is
It's Wade,
very
DK. It's Bobby Wade.
Bobby Wade.
Yep.
Exactly.
After all these years.
After all these years. We've been calling him Bobby Wade, and his name is really Bobby Wade.
Yep.
Oh, J.W. Madden, folks. He's here all week. He's actually here all year.
Try to get rid of me.
Tip him every day, please. So one of the things I noticed, like in the first, maybe the second practice, was Bobby Wade was working with his wide receivers, and they were working, just doing some small routes without helmets on, and so the helmets were kind of all scattered on the side. And he made his guys. He stopped the drill and said, "Fellas, let's organize our helmets." He wanted the helmets lined up in a line.
I like that.
Just little minutia details like that, and why it's just important to be on your P's and Q's, to be dotting your I's and crossing your T's. It's like, let's not have our helmets all scattered all over the place. It was just like, he was like, okay, if he told the guys, we can do this drill in the shade, but everybody has to be in the shade. It's not going to be half guys in the shade and half guys in the sun. He's like, if you're going to be in the shade, everybody needs to be in the shade. Just the little things that create that team unity that really gets you thinking about, I've got to be on top of every single little detail. And I love seeing stuff like that. Absolutely love seeing stuff like that.
I think just anything you can do to help yourself remain conscious in the moment instead of autopilot. Like that's just human nature, right? Think about driving a car, DK. We're obviously paying attention to the road. That's the job. You're driving a car. You got to pay attention to everything. I mean, just ask Cricket. However, relative to your 100%, the amount of attention that a 15-and-a-half-year-old does when they're driving permits and they've got somebody in the car watching them versus a 35-year-old who's been driving for 20, it's just human nature to kind of go in semi-autopilot. And so that drill, having Coach Wade, put the helmets next to each other, it might seem innocuous, but it's really just paying attention to detail and staying focused in that moment.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Cricket rejoins us now. We have a texter who texted in on the text group.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Hey guys, just caught the last bit when you were talking about weeds, Cricket's weeds, and he sent us a picture of something called Preen. It's called Preen Extended Control Weed Preventer. Stops weeds before they start. Have you heard of Preen?
Do you have a picture?
Yeah, I'll pull it up here.
Is it like dangerous to the animals and lizards and
birds? I think
birds
Cricket
and stuff
said several times she doesn't want to use any kind of product, is what she said, right?
I'm going to write that down and I'll look into it. But I know that there's some all natural.
You don't like chemically like stuff that's real chemically then?
Yeah, and I know a lot of them are pet safe, but I got a dog. I think our neighbors have 2 cats that come through our yard.
Ooh.
I mean, they're not my cats.
Because that's what cats do.
Exactly. They just they do their own darn thing.
Yard, yeah.
They do their own darn thing. And I hope that they're never out there when my dog's out there.
This is a woman who has volunteered to walk dogs every weekend for a million years. And I think that alone tells you how much she cares about, pod creatures and everything else. I think it's tough because it's this time of year and this time of year alone, right? It's like every other weekend you might look out there and you think to yourself, like, didn't I just do that?
I was
out there a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I think the real preventative thing is under the, whatever surface you have put down. If it's just dirt and there's nothing else, but if you actually get it done and then maybe get one of those like tarp weed preventer type of things from growing, that could be helpful preventative for the future. But at this stage where you're at, I mean, you either put chemicals on there that are, you might have second thoughts relative to your pets, or you pull them.
Yeah, I wrote that down. Preen. I will definitely look into that.
This gentleman has texted us a number of times. I don't have his name, though. I got to get his name. But he says he gets it at Home Depot. It's $25. He says, I put it twice a year, spread it like bird seed before it rains.
Like granules or something.
He said if you want help spreading it, let him know. He's retired. He's got time. He says it will not harm existing plants, shrubs, or trees. Doesn't say if it'll harm animals, but I don't know about that. But he says he's been using it for 5+ years.
That is so nice of him.
There you go.
Well, thank you, good sir.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
So appreciate all that great information there. And Crickets got sweet deals this week.
Yes, indeed. We got a sweet deal on Friday from Barrio Brewing Company where you pay $25, but you get $50 to spend that sweet deal Friday, 8:30 in the morning, wildcatsradio1290.com. And Barrio Brewing Company, they've been brewing for Arizona for 33 years. Legendary, locally fresh brewed beer, really good food, all in a really fun, like quirky, industrial type atmosphere. It's family friendly, and it's also dog friendly. There's a dog friendly patio. So you can enjoy popular local brewed beers like Barrio Blonde, Hipster Hazy IPA, and Barrio Rojo. Monday through Friday, happy hour, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. For more information about their beer selection, their menu, food options, event space rentals, and more, barriobrewing.com.
Look at you over there rolling your R's there. Barrio Rojo. Rojo. That's my favorite. I think, of the local. I'm really into the ambers, and I went somewhere this weekend. I couldn't get an amber. I was like, why can't I? You got no ambers here? It's like, what are we doing? Come on now.
Isn't that pretty common?
I would think so in most places, but not everybody has an amber for me. So, yeah, that didn't happen. So this is a $50 gift certificate, $25 at Friday morning, 8:30 a.m., Wildcats Radio 1290. Have you been to Barrio Brewery over there? I think it's in the, what do they call that district next to downtown? Saint something. I forget.
I don't think I've been there.
It's it's by the railroad tracks. It's kind of that industrial area.
Isn't it the Barrio?
South of downtown. It's kind of south down. What's it called? Come on, help me out here. That area where the it's like
Presidio?
No, not Presidio.
There's a lot of barrios.
It's right now. It's right south of downtown. Right south of downtown, like south of Broadway. That little area there, Saint something or Am something. It starts with an A. Saint starts with Am something Park. There's a park there. They have
Armory.
Armory.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Oh my gosh!
I was like pulling teeth with us. We weren't helping you at all.
No,
we could have left you hanging.
Armory Park.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, it's kind of on the edge of Armory Park, Barrio Brewery. We've been there a couple of times. It's a good spot. So if you've never been down there, you should check it out. For sure. Again, happy hour is happening right now for another 45 minutes because, they can't extend happy hour until we get off and have a chance to get there. It has to end while we're still doing our show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Well, get us home now, Cricket, please.
All right. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290.
Or get us to happy hour.
At least there, yeah. Let's do that. Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. River Road east of Campbell, that was reported as an apartment fire. Earlier, westbound backups on River approaching Campbell. Collisions that are reported Alvernon north of 29th Street, Mission and 36th Street, and also Bilby and Park Avenue. And I'm Cricket. Oh, and by the way, your weather. Tiny chance of showers tonight. Nearly a 50% chance of rain tomorrow and 102 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
Play social games online for free. Head to ChumbaCasino.com now to join the Chumba fun and experience the thrill of the Chumba life. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
What makes 1290 different than any other radio station in Tucson? 1290 is the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Winner. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Over the years, Lerner Rowe has helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that Lerner Rowe is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! No, it's...
I'm Captain Tobacco from Tobacco Barn.
My tobacco hero.
I'm here to wipe out high prices on tobacco products. I'm also here to inform citizens that you could save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products. Pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Uh-oh, I see high prices. Excuse me.
Save up to 40% off all your tobacco products at Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn is on the Indian Reservation, so you're not paying state tax or any city sales tax. Plus, you can get a coupon for an additional $3 off at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Take it from Captain Tobacco. Save up to 40%. Save with no city or state sales tax. And save with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Well, time for me to fly.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Work is busy, and home,
Mom!
pretty much the same. But you wouldn't know it because my skin doesn't look stressed thanks to Olay Retinol Body Wash. Its hydrating formula is packed with vitamin B3 complex plus retinol. I use Olay Retinol Body Wash to transform my skin from dry to moisturized and visibly renewed. Sure, I still have stress, but my skin looks amazing. Try Olay Retinol Body Wash for visibly renewed skin in just 14 days. Also try Retinol 24 Body Lotion.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners, but you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. Swimming superstar Katie Ledecky won her 9th career gold medal with another victory in the 800-meter freestyle. She has now joined Michael Phelps as the only 2 swimmers to win an individual event in 4 consecutive Olympics. Ledecky took home 2 gold medals in Paris, along with a silver and a bronze. With her 14 medals overall, she is now the most decorated female American Olympian ever.
Not every time was necessarily what I wanted this week, but I still felt so much joy going out there and racing, and I think that's what I'm going to remember the most. And there's that old quote about how the medals fade, the people forget their times, but you remember the relationships, you remember the emotions that you feel at these kinds of meets, and that's definitely what will stick with me.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Olivia Harlan-Decker on Westwood One.
Are
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on our program today. You can call us. You can text us. Don't forget to download our app. Our app slaps. You can, in fact, text app, APP, to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link. You can download our app. You can keep track of everything that is going on in the world of Arizona sports. You can read up on the Diamondbacks' fabulous weekend. Well, it was not fabulous. They did lose one game, but they won 2 out of 3, so that's a successful weekend. In Pittsburgh.
What's that, 9 out of 10 series?
Yeah.
They've won? Yeah.
9 out of 10. The bad news for the Cardinals, in case you missed it over the weekend, second-year linebacker B.J. Ujulari tore his ACL and is going to be out for the season. That's a really rough loss there because he was expected to be a dominant player on the Cardinals defense, played in all 17 games last year, had 40 tackles and 4 sacks, second-round pick out of LSU. So you can read all about BJ's injury on our app, as well as the Suns. We mentioned made a couple of moves last week. One of them was signing former first-round pick Ty Washington, who had played a number of years with Memphis and some other teams, the Rockets and the Bucks, and he will now also be brought in to try to shore up the guard spot for the Phoenix Suns. You can read a little bit about the Suns and that move to get Ty Washington. In fact, if you missed any of our interviews from last week, they are all there. Wildcat Breakdown with Glenn Howell from last week as we talked about the opening of training camp, our conversation with Troy Hutchinson from Go AZ Cats on Arizona football is also on our website right now, as well as on our app. So make sure you get on over to wildcatsradio1290.com or download our app today. All right, want to let you hear from the offensive lineman, Jonas Savianaya, Josh Baker. Right now, we know, at least we think we know, those are going to be the 2 guys starting for this team. That's the biggest right now. If there's a top takeaway for this first week of camp, it's the unrest on the offensive line. Raymond Polito will not play. He was penciled in as your left tackle. Wendell Moy has been limited. He's penciled in as your left guard. Josh Baker did not go with the teams today, but I don't know if that might have just been a kind of a day of rest for him. He was out there. He was dressed and he was out there, although he didn't participate in any of the team drills involving offensive linemen. And Leif Magnuson has now missed 3 straight days of practice, and we're not sure why that is. So the offensive line is in flux. But so far, Jonas Savianaya says it's been a great camp.
Through 8 weeks of summer camp, it gets boring, but that's part of football. You gotta have capacity for boredom. You gotta come out here and do the same thing, but that's what separates us from other teams. So we're excited to come out here and compete with each other, and excited for the future.
Jonah, for you, how is it now that you're a veteran, an upperclassman? How would you compare this experience to your freshman year?
I mean, it's still, I still think I'm a young guy because I have bakes here still. No offense. Well, all those guys like Payne Fears, JD, Joshua Donovan, Jordan Morgan, they took me under their wings and then learned from them. So now I got to pass it on to the young guys.
Michael.
For either one of you, you're trying to integrate some new pieces. Not everybody is necessarily fully healthy at this point. What has that process been like? Just trying to create some cohesion and chemistry.
It's awesome for some of these young guys and new guys to get some reps in spots that they might not have thought they'd get at the beginning of camp. But it's good to get them in and get them experience with talking to each other, communicating with each other, especially with the defense that we're playing against. It's really good for them to get experience talking to some of the older guys, some of the newer guys.
As far as your responsibilities go with identifying who the middle linebacker is or where the pressure's coming from, has any of that changed in this system compared to the previous one?
We're taking it day by day, and I'm not sure to answer that. Our rules have slightly changed with Coach O, and we're identifying based off those rules.
Troy and then Matt.
Jonah, you were not really in a similar situation to Rhino in terms of he's already played a year and has been with you guys, but he's now in that left tackle spot and starting now with you guys. And you know, you've been a young guy out there on the offensive line. What is your advice to a guy like that who's trying to make his way in the starting unit?
Just go out there and ball. You know, don't make the moment too big for yourself. Just go out there, have fun. You know, take all that preparation you did over the years, and then just put it into the moment.
Matt Reynolds and Damian.
I got a couple for you guys, for both of you. First day of the shells, what's it like kind of getting that first feel of physicality since spring ball?
It's amazing. Finally getting to hit people and have a good amount of protection, it's awesome. And giving our defense a lick and they have given us the lick back, it's awesome to get that feeling in you right now.
So, building off that a little bit, you guys have been running a lot more 12 and 21 personnel, you know, getting those heavier packages in. As guys that like to get in the mesh point and hit people, how fun is that for you running those heavier packages?
Yeah. I mean, you know, us O-line, we got to have that mindset of running the ball. So this is perfect for us. You know, the coaches that came in, they like to run the ball. We like to run the ball, so let's run the ball.
Damian and Ryan.
Jonah, so how is Rhino fitting into everything?
Good. I mean, touch on what Baker said, you know, taking it day by day, don't let the moment get too big in his head. But right now he's improving, and he's showing a lot of good results.
What impresses you about him?
Quick feet. You know, Rhino's got good feet, good hands, that get off the ball.
His energy and attitude as well. I love his attitude, and it's just toughness. Like no matter what, he could be dying, but he's there with us. Yeah. I love that about him. When he's out there and it's hot as heck, it looks like he's over there about to throw up, and he's back in it. He's back in it. It doesn't matter how hot he's feeling, how down he is. He's with us and he's there. He's fighting. Love that kid.
Brian and then Justin.
Josh, a couple for you. One, we've heard from a couple different people that Alex introduced as one of the stronger guys on the team. What have you seen from him as far as just the physicality he's shown?
Absolutely. He's absolutely very just raw power. My gosh, I've never seen a kid come in and just be able to have that much just strength behind him. Obviously, everybody needs work, and he's a young kid. He's got a lot of time, and man, with our coaches, he's going to do great with the development with him.
And then for you, this is the third different O-line coach you have. What stands out about what Oglesby does?
The very technical side of things, the very small things, is what stands out, Coach O, from the rest that I've had.
Jonah, what do you think Rhino could learn from a guy like Jordan Morgan, whether it's being his teammate last year and then maybe watching some of his film?
When I watch Jordan, you know, he's really patient. He's really relaxed on his feet and his hands. That's one of the most important factors that Rhino can take away from Jordan. But, you know, Rhino and Jordan are two different players, so they play different. But whatever Rhino's working on right now, you know, he's improving.
Another guy that's getting mixed in at guard is Shanko. What's his story? What do you like about him? What he brings the O-line?
Quick feet, good hands. You know, like what Baker said, going back to, you know, day by day. We got a lot of competition in this room, so just out here getting better.
Hello, Matt and Michael.
John, I'd like to follow up for you. When a team comes in with the mentality that we're going to run the ball, and obviously you have a quarterback, you have a wide receiver, we know that you guys can throw the ball around. How much does the run first mentality create a really dangerous offense overall?
It gives the defense that mentality to run commit. And then when we hit them with that third down, fourth down, boom, action. And that's when they're all committed to that run, and then we slip them right through that.
For both of you, there are a lot of new defensive linemen on this team. Who are some of the guys that you've gone up against who have impressed you with their moves or their power or whatnot?
Bear, number 44. Trey, number 3. That's more tackles, but a whole bunch of guys. We have, I believe, Coach said it was like 21 D linemen. So it's really awesome to see a whole bunch of variation of different playing styles and how people will play against you.
We got guys like Chuba, Stan.
Yeah.
Ty's improved a lot. Put on some weight, put on muscle. Sterling Lane, Deuce Lane. Got all those guys. Getting us better.
And with that, you guys saw the improvements on the defensive line from 22 to last year. How different was it from those 2 years, just with those guys coming in and improving that side of the ball, and what makes a good defensive line in your opinion?
Just the mentality. I mean, Coach Nansen and Coach Fitz last year, try to put it into our head, we got to come out there and punch the opposite team in the mouth, and very disciplined. I feel like that's what winning teams do, is really disciplined, and this is really the mentality when we get out there on the field.
One more to Brian, last question. For either of you guys, how would you describe the offense that Coach Babers is wanting to run?
Nasty. Nasty. Yeah.
Why nasty?
That's what he's been talking about every day that we've met with him. He wants us to. Yes, we have a lot of talent everywhere, but he wants to make sure that we know that yes, we can pass, but we've got to be able to run the ball, and we've got to do it hard.
Nasty, says Josh Baker about this offense that the Wildcats are going to be running under Brent Brennan and Dino Babers and company. Nasty. Well, what does Dino Babers think when he hears Josh Baker calling the offense nasty?
It makes my hair stand up that our starting center said the word nasty about an offense. As they go, we go. I grew up in the age where everybody used to call the offensive linemen hogs. I said, well, our offensive linemen are not hogs. They're elephants. And everybody says that the lions is the king of the jungle. That's not true. I've seen many lions look at a whole bunch of elephants and go, I ain't going down there. Those guys are big. So the elephants are the king of the jungle, and as they go, we go. And if Baker's going to lead and he says we're nasty, then we're nasty.
The elephants. I like this. I mean, Dino Babers has all kinds of stuff. He could be a history teacher. He could be teaching high school. He's got, he's bringing out the Sir Lancelot angle on Noah Fifita. He's bringing out lions and tigers and elephants and the matchup there that's happening out on the terrain. Dino Babers has all kinds of good stuff that he's bringing out. He should be over there. If he wasn't coaching, he'd be over there teaching at Tucson High School.
Yeah, I've seen those watering holes, and nobody messes with the elephants.
No, nobody messes with the elephants, indeed. Good stuff there from the offensive lineman, Josh Baker, Joni Savi, and I. We'll figure out who the other three guys are that are going to start next to those two this season. We do know cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. River Road east of Campbell, that was an apartment fire. You might have some slowdowns and see fire crews on scene. Collisions that are reported in clearing Alvernon north of 29th Street, Mission and 36th Street, and also Bilby and Park Avenue. Tiny chance of showers overnight and nearly 50% chance of rain tomorrow and 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
We don't have time enough to tell you the 100 reasons why you should shop at O'Reilly Chevrolet during our 100-year anniversary celebration, because this is a really short commercial.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Good to see you, Bruce Feldman, the Big 12 landscape. I just know how Dion is, where he's coming from. His wins are measured differently. The question is, as you said, it's got to go from 4 to 8.
I think they can do that. It would be hard not to get better considering how bad they were on the offensive line last year. Now, their schedule actually feels harder this year than it was last year.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, will arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really, really?
Really? Free.
That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really, really.
You just need to know if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free. William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC service guarantee.
AC service guarantee. Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free. Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any monies.
What?
What? I just said with Alaskan AC. AC service guarantee will arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. No offense to Tyreek Hill, Lamar Jackson, or Christian McCaffrey, but no one from that trio is the best player in the NFL. And don't get me wrong, all those players are great, as Tyreek and Run CMC are the best wide receiver and running back currently in the game, and Lamar is easily a top 5 QB. However, we all know the preeminent player in the NFL is Patrick Mahomes. And now Mahomes is ranked 4th behind those players in the NFL Top 100. Just shows how much of a joke this list truly is. I'm Zach Gelb.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help.
Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Final phase of our program today. The Olympics continues in Paris. An unfortunate end for the American men's basketball 3-on-3 competition, as the United States was one of the favorites to potentially contend for a gold medal in that event, but they lost early on to Serbia. And then our guy that we interviewed in Las Vegas, Jimmer Fredette, suffered an injury. He tore 2 ligaments in his abductor in one of the ball games, and that was the second game, which the United States lost to Poland, and that essentially dashed any chance that they had to make the knockout round of the tournament. Jimmer, quoting, said, "This is devastating for me, as I have put 2 years into qualifying for the Olympics with this group, who are my brothers," he said in a statement on social media. He's 35 years old, obviously played at BYU, had the huge game against Arizona for the Cougars here at McHale Center, but unfortunately the 3-on-3 did not turn out well for the United States men. I'm not sure where it is for the women, but obviously they suffered an injury right off the get-go when Cameron Brink was injured playing in the WNBA, and she was expected to be a big part of that for the United States women and never even made it over there. So it's been tough. It's been tough. But on the pole vaulting side, J-Dub, some great things are happening.
Yeah, for sure. If you think great things happening are dominance, because one guy, DK,
that would be great. That would be great if you're dominating. I would
yeah,
say.
I mean, one guy's been running away with it. I'd have to butcher his last name. I have to look it up again. I don't have it right in front of me, but back to back, and 9 of the top 10 high jumps of all time, pole vaults, of all time. DK, 9 out of the top 10.
Mondo Duplantis is who you're talking about?
That's correct.
Mondo Duplantis.
Yeah, so now 9 out of the top 10 Olympic measured pole vaults in the history of the sport are all his.
That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive indeed.
I was trying to look up the results of the 3x3.
Oh, for the women?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. Mondo Duplantis. Well, and one of the things I was watching over the weekend was and we talked about this on Friday, was the mixed 4x4 race, which was won by the Netherlands. And it was won, I don't know if you saw the end of that one, but Femke Bol, who is absolutely one of the best 400 runners in the world. I mean, if anybody is going to compete with Sydney McLaughlin-Lavron in the 400 hurdles, it's going to be Femke Bol. That's probably the only person in the world who has a chance to beat Sydney Lavron in that event. And I found it was interesting that the Netherlands, the Dutch, ran their best 400 person in that mixed 4x4, but the United States did not run our best 400 person in Sydney McLaughlin-Lavron in that event. I have not heard a reason. I mean, obviously, Sydney is Sydney. She's the greatest on the planet. She can choose to do what she wants to do. I don't know if they asked her if she would do that race. Maybe they did, and she said, nah, I'm not doing it. But clearly that showed the difference between two countries and how much the Dutch thought that race was important enough that they would run their best 400 woman in it, but the United States chose not to run their best 400 woman in it.
Yeah, I tend to think it's more like maybe try to get as many people an opportunity as possible type of thing. Like you said, maybe they asked her and she just has so many other things going on. I think of that exclusively for teams like the United States. I mean, you see how big their boat was for the boat parade? I mean, this is what America does.
We need a bigger
athletics.
boat. We need a bigger boat.
Well, I mean, there's always a lot of competition for those spots on the Olympic team to run track and field, right? There's a lot of people to pick from. So whenever I see it, and this is this is the second time they've ever had the mixed, correct? Yeah, I don't know why, but when I see something like that, my guess is it's just to get as many people an opportunity as possible.
That we did not have a question of the day today, but I'm going to put that out there now, and you can vote on it for the next 24 hours. Should the United States have run Sydney McLaughlin in the mixed 4x400 race to win the gold medal? Now, to their credit, they set a world record in the semifinal without her. But they did not win it. They finished second. They won the silver, but they did not win gold. If Sydney McLaughlin-Lerone is running for you, you probably win the gold medal.
U.S. got third in 3x3. They fell in overtime in the semifinals to Spain, 18-16. Germany defeated Canada, 16-15 in the other semifinal. And the final was...
So who was... you don't have the names, do you? I know Haley Van Lith was one of the women who was supposed to play on that 3-on-3.
Germany defeated Spain for the gold medal, 16-17-16. I did see that final shot there. And the United States defeated Canada for the bronze. So U.S. did finish bronze. Let's see. Yeah, Haley Van Lith is there. She's on the team. I don't recognize the other names. I mean, relative to recent.
Right.
The issue, obviously, is that, if everybody doesn't know, you have to play in 3-on-3 international tournaments to qualify for this, and both the WNBA and the NBA are taking place at the same time. So in order to qualify players, it's generally not a lot of named players from WNBA, NBA professions outside of, Jimmer, who's retired. He doesn't play in the NBA anymore. But you have to play in those tournaments in the lead up just to get onto this team.
Yeah. All right, let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we had a chance earlier to hear a great analogy from Arizona Wildcats offensive coordinator Dino Babers in relation to what he thinks of his quarterback, Noah Fifita.
Noah's like sainthood. He's like, what was the guy? Not King Arthur. Who was King Arthur's number one knight? Was it Sir Lancelot? Sir Lancelot? That's who he is. He is absolutely amazing. I can't even describe him. You start talking about him and your hair starts standing up like there's something weird with it. I mean, the guy is special.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Sir Lancelot, who, again, was considered to be one of the greatest warriors of that era. Fought for King Arthur. Obviously he has always been known to have been a very important person in the, quote, round table. And was essentially the basis of so many great heroes in terms of the battlefield and competition of that era and after that. Folks, talked about, do you have the heart of a Sir Lancelot when it comes to, representing your country and fighting wars for your nation. I mean, he was the quintessential war hero of the medieval era and after that. a very complicated man, but when it came to the battle, there was nobody that you would want to have next to you more than Lancelot Dulac. So good stuff there from our guy, Dino Babers. That is going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Cricket. Thanks to JW Madden. My name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock, DK on the Sports Tip. Hope you'll join us. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Earlier collision Mission in 36th Street in Mission. That was an earlier crash. And also we've got road work, widening work, eastbound and westbound Grant Road. West of Dodge Boulevard down to one lane and shifted to the north side of the roadway. And kind of a rough ride moving through that construction zone. Grant Road west of Dodge. Really tiny chance or slight chance of showers this evening. Nearly 50% chance of rain for tomorrow and 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
The more time that passes, the more important it is to remind our nation about the heartbreak and heroism of September 11th, 2001. Join your neighbors this September 11th at the Tucson Convention Center to climb the same number of steps as the World Trade Center towers, or as many as you can, to memorialize the brave first responders who ran toward danger that day. All proceeds benefit local first responders and military charities. General donations are also accepted. Register today at 9/11towerchallengefoundation.org.
It's 4 a.m. and you're sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. If you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really, really?
Really? Free?
That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really, really.
You just need to know, if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
With
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any money.
What? What?
What? I just said with Alaskan
Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
We are the Veterans Health Administration, and our hands provide life-changing care to over 9 million veterans across more than 1,200 facilities nationwide. Join hands with us to make an impact in your community. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
If we continue to consume our natural resources at the rate we do now, by 2050, it could take 3 Earths to meet our needs. The Earth can't speak up when it needs help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. For a job you'll love, progressive.com/careers. Fresh off his win in the 100 meters yesterday, Noah Lyles was back on the track today to begin competition in the 200 meters. Our Steve Futterman is in Paris with more.
A day after winning the 100-meter dash, Noah Lyles advances to the semis of the 200-meter dash. The semis are on Wednesday. The final comes on Thursday. If he wins that, he would become the first American man to win both the 100 and 200 in the Olympics since Carl Lewis in 1984.
Lyles, Arian Knighton, and Kenny Bednarik all won their heats to advance. The women's 200-meter final will feature 3 Americans as Gabby Thomas, Brittany Brown, and Mackenzie Long all made it through to the semifinals. And Simone Biles closed out her Paris appearance with a silver in the women's floor exercise. Teammate Jordan Childs was just behind her for the bronze. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's sea to shining sea, and water damage as far as the eye can see.
It's America.
It's freshly mowed grass and a fence that was freshly vandalized by a pack of unruly teens.
It's America.
It's also round-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For Phi, winning the fight against vision loss means seeing new ways to push himself. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is committed to funding research to end blinding retinal diseases. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Learn more at fightingblindness.org.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are Tucson's home for Arizona Wildcats football. From fall camp to the Territorial Cup, we bring you all the action of Arizona football. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
You're listening to the JR Sport Brief.
It is the JR Sport Brief Show here with you on the Infinity Sports Network. I'm coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much to everybody tuned in and locked in all over North America. Super producer and host Ryan Hickey, he's in New York City. And I'm glad that you're here listening, wherever you might be. This show gets started every single weekday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. You can listen on your local Infinity Sports Network affiliate. You can always tune in every minute, every second, every hour. You got a phone, right? You got an internet connection, right? You got a tablet? You got internet something? Get the free Odyssey app. As simple as that. AUDACY. You can listen.